Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Brentwood, Tennessee, cracks start to show in the facade of a perfect marriage until affairs, murder, and a man sleeping in a closet cause quite the spectacle. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. From the bottom of my heart and soul, yay, indeed. Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week on another exciting edition of Small Town Murder.
Yes.
We have one of the craziest goddamn stories today. It's just a wacky, interesting.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the hell is going on?
Like our fucking week.
And like our week. What is going on in upper class America?
Yeah.
This is an episode that's not panhandle-ish so much. We don't want to be like the trailer park murder podcast, so we want to mix it up a lot, and that's why you heard it in the opening, but we're back in Tennessee, and I know we were just in Tennessee, but we're doing this on purpose.
Okay.
I'm doing this because last time we were in Tennessee, we were like in the middle of nowhere in this rural town with these like trailer people, and it was and not trailer people like you live in a trailer, that's fine, but these were like there's some land, I just plunked a trailer on it and I live in the wood. Like it was a fucked up.
Not a trailer park. It's just a fucking trailer out there.
It was just a messed up situation. And so we wanted to show that like there's other things in every state. So this is the complete opposite of that inside the same state. Great. Plus, somebody complained that we were talking smack about Tennessee. So here's more for you, asshole. That also. That's secondary. But that also is like, yeah, that's good. That'll piss them off too. Because you know what? I hate that people will. I've listened to all the shows, but then you got to my state and now you're mad.
Now I got a problem.
You can make fun of everybody. Make fun of yourself too. That's the thing.
That's how it goes.
We make fun of ourselves. I don't know if you've ever heard how I talk about New York, but it's not glowing. Yeah. And I'm from there, and Phoenix also, or the Arizona in general. I would say it's hell on earth. It's the devil's taint.
Right. Doesn't matter.
Colorado.
It doesn't matter where I am. It sucks.
It's not you. That's what I'm saying. Relax, everybody out there. But thank you so much for joining us. Real quickly, thank you for your iTunes reviews. We do need your iTunes reviews or Apple Music or whatever it is. So if you haven't done that yet, please give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say in the thing. It's not for our ego. It's just for business. It helps move you up the charts. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com and you can do several things there. You can buy merchandise. Yep. And if you are going to buy merchandise, wear it to a live show.
Yes.
And we have all our live shows, and that's on Shut Up and Give Me Murder, and a couple of program notes on these live shows.
For Christ's sake.
This is annoying. Sorry to clog up the beginning of the show, but this is important. Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
If you have tickets for the November 5th show at the Van Buren, that is no longer a show.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. It's the day before the election, and the local government is taking it over
we lost to Gabby Gifford.
Yeah, we lost to like a senator and the Gin Blossoms. They're having like some vote.
And an astronaut.
So we're going to say that they were kicking us out, basically. It's a big voting thing. We have no control over that. And they tried to put us in a venue that, an alternate venue that was not acceptable
just
for
not
you guys.
Happening.
We just weren't going to put you guys there. So instead, we canceled that show, rescheduled a show for 2 days earlier.
Right.
November 3rd. It is at Stand Up Live, which is one of the best venues for anything in the country.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
Comfortable, and the tickets are cheaper than they were at the Van Buren.
Right.
And so please get those tickets. It's a Saturday night. No excuses. We're really sorry if you were planning on Monday and that's all you could do. We really, really apologize. But honestly, it was completely out of our control. We don't schedule elections.
Right.
And
but the other point is that the refunds there are refunds for the Van Buren,
tell them
and you
about
just
this.
go to the point of sale. Whoever you bought the tickets from,
they'll give you your money back.
Go there and they will refund you your money, and then come fucking hang with us at Stand Up Live.
Please do that. And also, we're Seattle here. If you're hearing this on Thursday, we're in Portland tonight.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if there's any tickets left by Thursday. There was very few when we're recording now. Seattle, the Friday show, we have, very sad to say, we have to cancel that.
It's not canceled.
It's not canceled. Right. It's pushed back. It's rescheduled. It's a venue thing. And again, we have no control. We don't have any control over venues.
And that's a problem.
That's a problem. And that's one of the things we need to work out in the future. All the rest of the shows for the entire tour they're all a go. Everything's fine. These were shows that we knew were going to be problems from the beginning, and we just knew they were going to be a problem, and somehow they got booked anyway, and it was honestly out of our control. And but we should have locked it down. We apologize. That slipped through the honestly.
Moving forward,
we'll take control over it, but we promise you no more fuck ups for the rest of the time. But Seattle, they were trying to reschedule us in a venue that didn't have chairs, and we're not doing that. Right. So we just said we're going to reschedule it at the same venue. All your tickets will still be good for that. It's going to be in April. We apologize otherwise. Sorry if its travel plans are messed up. Trust us, we just spent a lot of money rescheduling plane tickets, and that's going to come out of somebody's end and not ours. Okay, so... Also, while you're there, you want to be a superstar producer, head over to patreon.com/crimeandsports, make a donation, or go over to PayPal, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. That's all links in shutupandgivememurder.com. And it'll take you right over to there. Enough of that shit. Enough doom and gloom and craziness and wacky rescheduling bullshit.
Will you please tell some people...
I think there's something we need to do here. I think because first of all, disclaimer, because, and I'm sorry that we're disclaimer because another couple annoying things this week with people. Guys, this is a comedy podcast. Everybody out there, we're going to tell jokes. Yeah. If you don't like jokes or you're offended by jokes sometimes, you shouldn't listen to the show. I'm sorry. Because clearly murder doesn't offend you because you're listening to a podcast with murder in the title. So you're expecting death. So that's fine. But if you don't want jokes at all around your death, then you should should take off now, because if you come back later on and say, you said this and I'm not sure, we're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Right. I'm sorry. We are, because this is a comedy podcast and it's our show. It's not your show. Right. We appreciate the producers, you have a stake in it and everything like that. But in the end, this is our show. Right. And we're going to put out what we think is good. Right. And that's it. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can kiss our asses.
Or they can suck shit through a dick straw.
That's another thing. Yeah. Either way, it's annoying because we go out of our way to not make fun of the victims or the victims' families. We're not doing it like that. We are assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's true.
So if that's good with you and you want to laugh at silly shit around a crazy situation, then you are in the right place and we're going to have a great time. And if not, then please go listen to Dateline or something more serious and where they're not going to make any jokes and offend you.
I'm perfectly fine with my inbox staying empty.
That's right. That said, I know what you're thinking out there, and I'd like you to shout it from all over, from if you're in your office, well, maybe conservative office, maybe not, in your car, whatever.
Mountaintops.
Let us hear it. Yeah. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip, shall we?
I would love to.
Let's do this. God, the 2 minutes of extra shit in the beginning here, killing me. We apologize if people fast forward to the 5-minute mark and you're like, they're still talking.
Right.
Let's do this. Let's go on a trip. Like I said, we're going all the way to Tennessee from Oregon last week, all the way to Tennessee. And this is a totally different place from the last place, like I said. This is Brentwood, Tennessee. Okay. And it's ritzy like Brentwood is in like LA. It's a nice place. It's a dead center of the state, like a bullseye. It's fucking right there in the middle of the state. It's about 20 minutes outside of Nashville, so it's like the nice suburb of Nashville, basically. 3 hours to Memphis and 2 hours to Chattanooga, so it's in the middle by Nashville. That's the best way to put it. It's in Williamson County, zip code 37024, area code 615. It's a big area, a big town. It's a lot of large plots and things like that. 34.7 square miles. And we'll talk about the population has just exploded in this place.
Really?
Yeah, like if this murder happened like last year, we wouldn't be able to do it because the town would be too big. Okay. It's too big now, but when the murder happened, it was still in our small town range. So
that's because Nashville's growing like crazy.
It's growing and people are going to the south. Whenever a city grows, then people go, oh, this place is getting shitty, and they when they have a couple of bucks, they go get a house with a yard.
There's a kid selling nutsack weed on my patio.
My dog needs to run around, and that's what they do. The motto of this town is it's Latin. So this is a highbrow town. It's not like y'all come back now. You hear? It's different.
Tennessee got some Latin in it.
It's Ardennes Fide. I think I'm saying that right, which means burning faith, which is some highbrow shit for a town.
Say that in the Latin word again.
Ardennes Fide.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
Picture a Southerner saying that shit. Yeah. Ardennes Vitae.
Oh, like a real And Brentwood, I think they'd be like Ardennes Vitae. I think they'd be very.
It's not real Southerners.
No. I feel like these are, maybe they are.
They're immigrant Southerners.
Yeah, maybe. I prefer another phrase I found Latin to describe cacata carta apidum, which means shitty town in Latin. I had to find that and get a translation.
Very nice. Thank you, Google Translate.
Right. Thank you, Google. History of this town. First people here, obviously, are Native Americans. Right. Clearly, you can pretty much say that about everything. Right. That was the Mound Indians, or they're also called the Stone Box Indians.
Jesus,
that's an uninviting title.
Not good.
Of a title of a people there.
Yeah, a stony box.
Yes, that's very stony. But they're still by 1300 that these people kind of disappeared from this area. Yeah. So, this is like way back in the day here. By the 1700s, the first settlers were planters and farmers who came here in the late 1700s. This was land granted to Revolutionary War soldiers by the state of North Carolina. Yeah. So this was originally given to, soldiers as payment, basically, is what they used to do back then. They first had, obviously, cotton was a big thing here. Yeah. A lot of plantations. There's probably a lot of ghosts floating around this type of place here. Put it that way.
Tennessee, rich in history of quality humanitarian work, is what I'm told.
Yeah. If you drive through Tennessee, it's like Civil War battle site, Civil War battle site. You're like, oh my, it's interesting as fuck.
It's fascinating.
I drove through there and stopped at all those goddamn places because
I don't remember any of it.
Civil War
I'm told
guy,
some of it.
It's great. Yeah, it's crazy shit. But this place this place grew pretty quickly in the 1800s, and by the time the Civil War came around, it was one of the wealthiest areas in the state. So it's always been a wealthy area, this place. It's strange, and they had good soil here. The plantations did well. People built big beautiful plantation homes and shit like that. These homes were used during the war for treating soldiers, and like a lot of the plantation homes were, because they're big like a hospital. So a lot of rooms for soldiers to get better in. But problem was, by the end of the war, because of all the war, there wasn't a lot of farm animals or crops left, because that was part of it. As you
destroy everything.
As you go through, you destroy shit. Or also, if there's animals, you're going to eat them. It's a goddamn army. They need food. So they're always looking for shit to get, take into their kind of orbit as they go through. It's like a Heathcliff cartoon fight. It's like a big swirling dust storm that just takes everything in, and other cats and shit like that.
I just saw the much less. I don't know. Is it more mature? I just saw 300. The guy, the fucking Persian, talking about we drink rivers dry, and whatever else they do. They rape the land, basically.
That's what you're getting
just
at
to
here.
support our warriors.
Well, this has ruined the place, basically. All the plantation homes were destroyed. I'm sure slaves are probably happy.
Oh, I'm sure they're thrilled.
Like, this is better. Getting the fuck out of here now.
Now your house is like the place you keep me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Good, So March 25th, 1863, General Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was a Confederate cavalry leader who was just an insane person who, if you've seen Forrest Gump, they talk about him for a minute.
Is that who he's named after?
Yeah, not a good guy. Well, I mean, it depends on your point of view, but if you grew up in New York and you heard about the Civil War, you're like, well, he seems like an asshole. He was very much into the Klan later. Just
terrible.
Not my kind of guy. So he led a column of men into a Union-controlled area and screwed a bunch of shit up with the railroad and did a sneak attack and cut telegraph wires and basically just cut this place off from communication and destroyed a bunch of artillery. And
that was Brentwood.
That was in Brentwood. This was in this area here. They surrendered. The Union surrendered Brentwood the next day, which was a big loss for them. There was 305 Union casualties that day and only 6 Confederate casualties because it was a sneak attack raid. These people, this is an old hunting ground, so I guess maybe that's why the soil is fertile, they say, because it was a very large hunting ground back in the day. When people first came here, they had a general store and a grist mill and a post office, finally, obviously, and then shitloads of churches. That's the thing. There's mostly Methodist churches popped up everywhere, and this was just like, they would just, anywhere where there was people, there'd just be, these churches would proliferate. It would be like, it's like check cashing stores in a city. Like, if they put up a city, they're like, people need checks cashed. There's going to be immigrants that don't have bank accounts. We can rob them of a percentage of their hard-earned wages. Let's do it. It's fucked up, man. So
churches and check cashing places are very similar.
They're very similar.
Very similar.
Well, they want to take a cut of poor people's money. That's what they want. So I feel like that's part of everything here. So
a vague promise of a return.
Vague, very vague. Very, very vague. So after the Civil War, a lot of the land was kind of chopped up and sold in smaller farms. Kind of the big properties were kind of diced up into smaller things, and tobacco became what they grew here. And population was pretty stable all through the 1900s. It didn't go up that much, all that much here. The 1920s, it seemed to have kind of a prosperous kind of rebirth. A little boom here. In 1960, the population was 1,065. Okay, so you can see how much this has grown, as we're going to talk about.
It's a nice little town.
It's not bad. Late 60s, the housing started to boom because they made an interstate that took you right to, they had a freeway right to Nashville. So you could get to work in Nashville in 20 minutes. So now people move there like crazy, and there was bigger lots and that sort of shit. They want their dogs and kids to run around. Towns incorporated in 1969. By 1970, 3,500 people are there. So that's more than double in 10 years. 9,400 by 1980.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I mean, it's just
Word's getting out.
Yeah, and by the 1980s, there's they have to establish school systems and they have to widen roads and put in more sewage and library. I mean, the population can't double, triple every 10 years. That's crazy. That's a lot. Like, exponential growth of a town is just for the infrastructure. You don't know what you need. By 1990, population was 16,400.
Oh my God!
So I mean, that's from 80 to 90, almost
30 years,
almost double. Yeah, it went from 1,000 to 16,400 in 30 years.
That's
so,
too much.
By 2000, 23,500 people.
Oh my God!
So this is crazy. 2005, there's about 29,000 people, which is when our story takes place.
Oh, okay.
So that comes in right under our radar,
threshold.
Right under the threshold. 2010, they had the flood of 2010. Which is a good name for it. It's very creative. Yeah. These people are very creative.
Really dug deep.
They dug deep for this one. On May 1st and 2nd, in less than 30 hours, the city received 14 to 17 inches of rain, which is a shitload of rain in a day. It was the worst natural disaster in the city's history, caused water damage to almost 300 homes, mudslides, damage to the bridges and the roads, and they said basically it was the equivalent to 2 consecutive days with 100-year storm events. So that's too much rain, basically.
Is that what's a maybe they need to tell us all what 100-year storm event is.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that?
Half of that, apparently. It's 2 days.
2 days of 7 inches?
Half of that. Apparently, yeah, that qualifies probably. Brentwood's a participant in the Sister Cities program.
I've recently found what that is.
Oh, really?
It's where
what do they
cities observe either one in interest of benefiting the other city also.
That makes, what does that mean practically?
I don't know. Fucking.
What do they do?
They
send Girl Scouts there to sell cookies. I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know. They tell each other about
trade
the
city
other
workers.
city. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
I know, like it's on your sign.
Yeah.
Like Sister City is. It'll
of
be on
this place.
Yeah, because
right.
I think Scottsdale has one somewhere.
Do they?
Or used to, or Paradise Fast. One of these fucking cities.
I hate Scottsdale so much.
This is their town is a British town, Brentwood in Essex.
There you
England
go.
So that's where they get that from. I found some 1-star user reviews that are pretty funny here. 1-star user reviews, quote, "I believe that the governor, state reps, and local representatives are not good enough to do their job." 1 star. So, okay.
Vote them out, sir.
The weather in my area can change into all 4 seasons in the matter of a day. The day could start off cold, then become breezy, but still nice. Then it's terribly hot, and at the end of the day, it rains. 1 star. That's just weather. You moved there. That's how the clouds go over you. I don't know what to tell you.
You wake up, see, James, and it's cool, and then by noon it's warm, goddamn warm.
Then it gets
afternoon
warmer.
Well, get me an afternoon shower.
By night,
goddamn dark.
It's different again. I think there's something. The sun goes away, and I don't care for that. Okay.
Right around 8 o'clock at night, I can't see a goddamn thing.
Yeah,
it's real annoying.
It's weird. It's dark. It's all dark. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it doesn't. It's sneaky. It's sneaky.
Here's
Somebody another one.
Go to Earth Science.
That's a great review. Just reviewed the weather. It has nothing to do with the town itself.
He just reviewed a pattern of one day.
Of one day of weather. I feel like that day, that's what happened, and he was like, "This son's fucking town."
He woke up in the morning,
chronicled the day,
and the weather guy
told him it
was going to be sunny and warm all day, and then he's like, "It's 8 o'clock in the morning, 65 outside, not even warm."
I'm surprised he didn't put that on there. Shitty lying weatherman. Area has a terrible weatherman. Not good.
It was
1
not
star.
warm all day.
1 star for his predictions as well. Here's another one here. Quote, "A lot of the restaurants are very expensive and have great service, or it is cheap and the service is bad." Yeah, that's restaurants. That's where you just described restaurants. You just described how restaurants work. A lot of the cars are really expensive, but then they're super nice and fast, or they're less expensive and shitty and crappy on the inside, and they don't run right. Yeah, that's how things work. More expensive things are better quality for the most part. Less expensive things aren't. That's how it works. That's the world. I don't know what to make of that.
That is the greatest man alive. That's what you make of that.
Between him and the weather guy, I'm like, what a weird town of complainers. This is a strange place.
Where can I review this restaurant? You know what? I'm just going to review them all in town on the town website.
It's not even a town website. It's a website about towns. It's the weirdest thing ever. But Money Magazine named it the number 21 best place to live in like 2017.
Almost top 20.
But let's look at number 20 is Wiley, Texas, and number 22 is in Indiana. So, I mean, let's judge this on a sliding scale here. People in this town, current population is 40,000, which is above our threshold. But when when it matters, when we look at 2005, it's under 30. But I'm going to give you stats for now to give you an idea of what kind of town it is, because it's always been the same place. This is up 155% since 1990, which I think it was 23,000 or something in 1990. Median age here is 41. It's a little bit older, but as we'll find out, it's a lot of like 45 to 50-year-old people and children. Yeah. So it's a lot of like middle-aged, like people
Rich
with
people.
Well, that waited till their late 30s to have kids, and now they have small children that go to this place.
Got it.
More females than males, but very, very few. A lot of the people in the 10 to 14 age group, and a lot in the 45 to 54.
That's what
so
it is.
So you can see they got a couple of bucks. When the kid was 5-6 years old, they moved out to here.
There you go.
And also, it's just older people with money. Married population, it's usually 50-50. Here it is 72% married.
Wow.
So this is a place where you go with your family. But it's not like a lot of bachelors hanging out here.
Go there and be all Methodist.
Yeah, and now married out of this is 71%. So these people stay fucking married. Very few, even like half of the widowed population of normal, half the normal divorce rate, or divorced people, I should say. It's single people with no children is 2% of the population. So good luck finding those people.
Are you telling me, James, that if you wait your life out a little bit, make a good amount of money, and then you find out that you've got a good career path, and then you get married,
kids?
And then you have kids.
Pretty crazy.
Tell me
right?
the chances of being more successful.
Weird, right?
That's fucking bananas.
Yeah, well, neither of us did that, so that's.
You tell me the teen mom girls ain't working out?
No, it's straight. And neither we did it too.
Yeah,
both of us were like, oh, well, fuck it. I guess we're poor, and
I guess this
she's
is
pregnant.
what we're doing.
That's life. I guess it's happening now. So, these are people who planned a little better than people like me and you. Yeah. Race of this town, about 85% white, which in Tennessee, it's pretty white. 4% black, 5.49% Asian. More Asians than the average. More than the average. That's
say the black stat
very
again?
few. 4.05.
And then say
4%.
the Asian?
5.49%.
More Asians.
More Asians.
More Asians than black people.
And normally
in Tennessee,
Asians are 5% and black is about 12.5% is the national average. So, this is a strange demographic breakdown here. 2.56% Hispanic, so very few. 17% is the normal. 65% are religious. This is Tennessee suburbs. These people go to church on Sunday. 17.5% are Baptist. Okay. As we know, Baptists are the Catholics of the South. Absolutely. 12% Methodists coming in a strong second.
You betcha.
Pushing those Baptists.
You betcha.
I feel like they're like sports agents, like fucking recruiting each other's congregates and shit. Like, we're almost up, man. Our poll numbers are looking like this. It's like a political campaign. They're really competing. 0.7% LDS. They're keeping those Mormons out, though. They're going to keep them out. Here. Not them. 0.7% Jewish too.
Oh,
because there's a little bit of it's not
affluency.
It's not like the trailer parks. Yeah. So they're gonna. So I almost got to sing Have a Nagila, but not quite. At 1%,
so close.
At 1%, Have a Nagila comes out. It just does. 0.1% Muslim. 26% voted Democrat in the last election. 73% Republican. Okay. So this is southern city suburb, affluent suburb. This is definitely a lot of Republican signs on the lawn.
Absolutely.
I would say here. Unemployment rates 4.2%, which is lower than the national average. Household income, median household income. Normally, or the national average for this is $53,482. Yeah. Okay. Here it is $138,395. Median.
Wow.
So this place is wow. Yeah. I mean, every group under $100,000, all of those well below average.
My Christ.
33% make over $200,000 a year. It's usually 5%. That's the national average.
Wow.
A third of people make over $200,000. This is one of the most affluent. I think it might be the most affluent area we've done.
It is.
This is insane. The jobs here are there's actually still manufacturing jobs, but there's twice as many finance and insurance jobs as normal.
They manufacture fucking money. That's what they manufacture.
They make money. Goddammit. And I think a lot of these people work in Nashville too. Okay. For the professional, scientific, and technical services, there's twice as many of them. So
you mean own shit in Nashville?
They own these businesses probably. Cost of living normal is 100 par average. Here, cost of living is 165, and that is mainly because of the 317 in housing and cost of living. Because the median home cost here is $621,800.
Wow,
that is the median home cost. So that
over $500,000.
Over $500,000. Well, over $500,000. That's the middle. That's some shit right there. That's crazy.
Toby Keith fucking live here? Jesus.
This is insane. That's so wealthy. And you look at the houses too. Yeah. I mean, most of the houses are, 400 to 500,000 is 22% of the houses. 750 to $1 million, 10% of the houses. 8% of the houses are $1 million or more. It's crazy. It's just so.
And a southern house that's over $1 million.
It's going to be beautiful.
Fucking impressive.
It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be a big
amazing.
Stately manor.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome and
pillars.
Yeah,
and
it's
fucking
going to look
shutters.
Dope. Yeah.
The shutters actually work.
Yeah,
it's
going to be. Yeah, they actually.
Yeah.
Well, we can actually shutter things.
The shutters here are just big pieces of wood that they staple to the house.
Yeah.
Those
fake.
that fucking operate.
Here they're just for show.
Right.
You have to dust them off.
When's the last time you
opened
a window in Phoenix?
Well, today it's beautiful
today
out.
You can.
Today you can. But months. You go 6 months without opening it.
Break a dust seal off of it to
get canned air to get this pebbles and dust and shit out of the track. Christ almighty. Now, if this has all convinced you that you have put away your money and you're ready to step up and move to an affluent area, we have for you the Brentwood, Tennessee Real Estate Report.
Okay.
Your average 2-bedroom rental here, this is pretty high. The national average for this is about $1,200 here. It is $2,520
twice
for a 2-bedroom. I found a 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom 4-bath 3,500 square foot house here for under the average, $525,000. So that's your bargain house of the week here. I found a 4-bedroom 4-bath 5,150 square foot house. It's beautiful too. The place was gorgeous. $935,000 for that. And let's say, you know what, you've done excessively well and you want to be in the upper echelon of Brentwood. I found a 5-bedroom 5-bath 8,284 square foot house that is absolutely ridiculous.
That's disgusting.
It's silly. It's like somebody who plays for the Titans has to live here. It's silly.
Square feet.
Over 8,000, $2,150,000.
I want to see that.
It's a wild house. Yeah, if you come to a live show, you get to see all these houses, which is fun.
Inside and everything.
Inside everything. Things to do. They have the annual Brentwood Arts Festival, which is a day of free music, art, and dance, which sounds terrible. Also, I
want to see you participate in fucking all of that.
Dance. No.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I don't want to dance. What am I going to dance for?
There are people.
I've never felt something enough to dance to it without forcing myself to be silly.
The only time I've ever danced is as a fucking joke.
That's what I mean, as a joke. Isn't this ridiculous? I can't seriously dance like, what's up with that?
Stupid.
You want to fuck me, don't you? No, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I can't
so
bad at it.
I just can't. Jesus Christ.
Even if I could, I wouldn't want to. It seems like a lot of work and you sweat.
It seems like I've said it 100,000 times. It's so much work to end up in the exact same place you started. You could walk to the other side of the city and all the motion you do. It's like you could do yard work. There's so much you could do.
Stand in one
place,
clean
your house,
get out of breath,
and just be like, Jesus Christ.
By the time you're done, you're just going.
Yeah, you're both sweating, and then you're like, now we're going to go fuck our sweaty selves. It's going to be great.
Lick me where I just sweat everywhere.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So for those interested in the visual arts, there's going to be an exhibit entitled Warship Matters, celebrating the integral connection between arts and worship, which...
A worship.
Worship. So this is between the arts and religion.
Okay.
You know, like Renaissance era shit.
I thought you said war shit matters.
Yeah, war shit.
I'd like to watch that.
War shit matters.
See what kind of shit they got there.
Children will enjoy the instrument safari, where they face paint kids and have art experiences, which I don't like that at all. And will be followed by a stargazing party hosted by the Children's Ministry. So if you want religious people to recruit your children and possibly diddle them, that's the place for you.
Take them outside, away from the lights.
Oh, that's
and look
right.
at the stars together.
Concessions will be operated by Chick-fil-A because it's a Baptist
You
thing.
bet they will.
So that's what it is here. No reservations necessary. Come on down.
Bring your supplies from the Hobby
That's
Lobby.
right. You got it. Crime rate in this town. What we're interested in. Property crime is less than half of normal. So it's pretty much almost non-existent here. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is just about half the national average. So it's an affluent, safe, leafy kind of nice town. This is they said it's 1/3 the teen crime rate of normal.
Really?
Yeah. So the kids aren't even fucking around
because they're afraid to go to hell.
Yeah, they're afraid. They'll send me to hell.
Right.
They're afraid to get their nice cars taken away by their dads. They're like, I will take your BMW away. He's like, I don't want to.
It's making me drive this Corolla. It doesn't even have navigation.
It's total bullshit. My fucking phone doesn't hook up to the Bluetooth, and it sucks. It totally sucks.
Fuck you, kid.
Yeah.
You asshole.
Bastard. So let's talk about a murder, shall we? Speaking of things like that, of dark subjects, of crime, let's talk about a murder. And this is a weird murder because it's so strange. I don't know about you, but I do know about you. We both grew up,
a lot about me.
Without a lot of money. Right. We didn't grow up in prominent families that had.
I'm still there.
Property, and that's what I mean. Nobody had anything. No. It was just whatever. It was very moment to moment. The whole existence.
You live for today, so you work your ass off.
Yeah, and you see on television and in movies and on soap operas or whatever the fuck. You see how rich people are. And how it's just this weird, whenever there's a rich person murder on a TV show, it's always some weird intrigue, and then you see this and you go, oh yeah, that's why, because this is how it is. They don't. It's weird.
They're dicks too.
They're dicks, but it's they have more. They'll try to plan some weird shit out and have a backstory. These people always in these situations. You know how always in Law and Order, if it's a rich person, everything's obfuscated and it's not just well, he was last seen with him and they were arguing and then he bashed his skull in and he's got a broken hand. It's pretty obvious.
Pretty cut and dry.
It's not like that. It's very much. It's weird because this is I felt like a little kid looking in on some weird rich person soap opera and thinking it was not in my world.
The way to chase a rich person murder is you follow a paper trail, where when you follow a poor person murder, you follow the bullets, weapons,
you follow
and
a blood trail.
Right.
That's what you follow. Blood's going that way. Right. The blood through the snow and the footprints are coming out of the trailer over there. So that's who killed them.
That's where it is.
So that's who did it. Sorry.
This is why you got to chase money and then property and then people.
These people are going to have good lawyers when you come for them, so you better have your shit together. Right. You're not going to just muscle somebody through the system into a plea bargain for 20 to 30 years or something here. These people are going to fight you.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our sponsors, Third Love.
Oh, is this thirdlove.com?
This is thirdlove.com/town if you want to get our promo code here. These great bras, they're fantastic. Yeah. Trust us, we know.
I'm everywhere.
There's one thing Jimmy and I know, it's bras. I mean, obviously we don't know bras. We don't wear bras. We don't know this, but these bras we have given to people that we do know. Yeah. My wife, Sarah, she loves them. She says it's the most comfortable one she's ever had in the world. I've heard nothing but raving about these.
Supportive.
And it seems like that's a big deal. Like I said, I'm not a woman, so I'm not positive of how the support here system would work and if that's a huge deal, but it seems like it really is. And so these these are the bras for you. I'm telling you right now, the most sizes of any brand. Third Love just added 24 new sizes, making them the industry leader with a total of 70 sizes.
My goodness.
You'll find the right bra for you. Perfect fit using thousands of real women's measurements. Third Love designs its bras with breast size and shape in mind, so they fit impeccably and feel even better. Quality in every stitch here. Details, premium fabrics, expert design. Shipping is really easy too. You don't have to go out and do this. Find your fit in 60 seconds online. Order, try it at home. No awkward fitting room experiences. Nobody sizing up your
Nobody touching you,
sizing up your breasts and looking at them and making you feel uncomfortable. Also, this is cool. There's a Fit Finder quiz, and I saw this, and this is what I was watching Sarah do here. I was watching her go through the process, and you would just answer a few simple questions, and next thing you know, you have this amazing, perfect bra. It's actually not that bad. It only takes a couple of seconds. It's really not that intrusive or anything like that. They help you identify your breast size and shape and the style that fits your body. Third Love, like we said, most sizes you're going to get, and they guarantee a perfect fit. Returns and exchanges are free and easy. Third Love knows there's a bra for everyone. So right now they are offering our listeners 15% off your first order. All you need to do is go to thirdlove.com/town to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your order. That's thirdlove.com/town for 15% off today.
thirdlove.com/town. 15% off. Go get your bras. And now back to the show.
So we'll talk about first a woman named Regine Beverly. Now, she's a neighbor of a couple that we'll talk about here, a couple named Martha Ann and Jeffrey Freeman. Okay, and they live in the Brentwood area. This is, around the 2004-2005 area. Regine had been their neighbor since 2000. So for a few years, her and her husband, Regine and her husband, lived across the street from the Freemans, and occasionally Regine would take care of the Freeman's pets if they had to go out of town or something. She'd take care of their dog and hamsters. So whatever. That's the neighbor that you can ask to do shit, which I would never have, because then I have to talk to my neighbors.
Then you have to give them a key to your fucking house.
Not only that, then they get to come in my house, but otherwise I have to cultivate a relationship before that, which I'm just not willing to do.
Ask their name to get to, here's the key to my place.
Not happening. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're gonna have to talk, and you have to know something about me. I can't just go over to a stranger and ask him to feed my dog. That's not going to work. Hey, and if it shits in the house, make sure to clean that up, too, because we don't want it to smell.
And by the way, when you come over, one of them's going to push his face through your legs every goddamn time.
He's huge. Right. So the 120-pound one is going to fucking stand between your legs.
Behind you. He'll come in from behind
and then
walk under you.
Look up at you like, pat me, please.
Lift you up.
Yeah, lift you up off the ground. And then the other one might bark at you. She might not.
Right.
Either way, she's going to try
Depends on her day.
Yeah, it depends on how she's feeling. But you're going to have to pet her either way, though, whether she's barking at you or not, because that's what she wants. Now Beverly here, Regine Beverly, she said that she had not been at the Freeman's house very often. She didn't go over there all the time to... She didn't sit and, have coffee with them on a Saturday afternoon or anything like that. She said they were friendly neighbors and they would often talk in the yard. Okay. So it's that if one's outside, they'll go talk in the yards, and that's what they do.
What you doing over there?
What you doing? How you doing? Oh, yeah. So he's out of town. He's over here for business, and this is what I mean. This is my nightmare. This, by the way, this story is a really, really good, it's a really, really good representation of my policy of don't talk to your fucking neighbors, because the amount of shit all of these neighbors have to go through and how many things they have to talk to in court and all this stuff. If you just never talk to these people, you knock on the door.
Because you said hi.
Do you know the people in that house, Martha and Jeffrey Freeman? Nope, never talk to them. Slam, over with. Don't know them. Bye. Done. Fuck out of here. So these people, though, they have to talk in the yard. Everybody's got to be so goddamn sociable. Fucking talk to each other.
I did it.
Small talk.
I did it.
And it's small talk. You have nothing in common with these, and you try to find the one thing that you
do. And then eventually you get to that point where you go, I would not hang out with this person. No. Then you go, now I just wasted my time, and I open the door for this fuck to talk to me every day.
Talk to me all the time. They have to wave at me and all that shit, and you don't know what you have, and you have to go through lists of shit to figure out if maybe do you like football? No? Oh, okay. I had this in one house, and this one guy, he was like, I went through like everything, all I had, and he's like, you like NASCAR? And I'm like, nope, this is not going to work. Like, he didn't like football. He didn't like baseball. He didn't like basketball. He didn't like comedy. He didn't like movies. He didn't like fucking reading. He didn't like anything. I'm like, what do you like? He's like, I like NASCAR and I like guns. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine for you, but I can't hang out with you. I'm not going to
be pals.
I'm not going to watch NASCAR and clean our guns together. That's not going to happen. Like, that's just not my thing. Fine if that's your thing, but it's not my thing. And
I'm fine with. I've watched NASCAR and I've cleaned a gun.
Yeah,
I don't know that I want to do both of those with another man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hang out with this person, and I don't want to watch NASCAR ever with anybody.
No.
It's fucking terrible. No. It's the most boring thing I've ever seen.
I've genuinely met two people through my kids that I enjoy spending time with. Outside of that,
and how many people have you met through your kids?
So many,
hundreds, hundreds,
so many.
How many?
I know I've embarrassed my children 100 times.
Well, how much time have you wasted on those people, talking to them? And trying to figure out if you have anything in common. And walking around on Halloween with them and their shitty kids. Let our shitty kids walk in a big group, and we'll walk in a big group behind them talking about their costumes for fucking a half hour because we have nothing else to talk about.
Because I hate all of you.
Oh, those are nice decorations that these people have. That's very nice. When are you going to put your Christmas decorations up? I do it right after Thanksgiving. I like to wait till the middle of December. No, this is what conversations are. And you've had that conversation. I can tell by your laugh.
So many times.
No, I will not do that. I won't even wave. I will ignore you. I don't want to know you.
I've got a friend that likes watching football. He likes a team that I fucking hate. I like a team that he fucking hates. Yeah. And we still hang out and enjoy games together. It's especially fun when his team plays my team. And we talk shit against each other.
That's a good time.
That I like. That's fun. And then I have one friend that likes to do off-road shit with me.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
you got to compartmentalize.
I've never met another person that my kids... I went to a birthday party with my other friend, with my son's other kid friend, and the dad was the most fucking nerdy dork fucking he liked the Rattlers, the fucking who likes arena football?
Yeah,
like he was
terrible.
Jacked about arena football. He's watching it on his phone. And he's like, watch this. And I'm like, no, thank you.
No.
I'm good, man.
Nope. Taking my kid and I'm going home.
It's not going to happen. I'm leaving.
This is terrible. This is
ridiculous.
Oh, God, it's fucking awful. So...
And that's what you have to put up with when you have kids too young. So wait till you're later in life.
Well, either way, these people did that, and then they still have to talk in the yard. This is the problem. Now you just have a yard to talk in rather than standing in front of your apartment. That's all it is.
And now, you know what, I'm putting that plan into action because I don't talk to the fucking people in my apartment complex because I'm a little sketched out about people who live in apartments. I live in an apartment.
Yeah. No, I understand. Well, it's better because our old neighbors in the apartment complex we lived in, they were all insane. Yeah. The one people, they just constantly, it smelled like they were constantly sweating down onions. Jeez. We couldn't open up our fucking patio door. Then there was like the chick next door who had like 3 big dogs in a 1-bedroom apartment. And she had this boyfriend who looked like a total dirtbag, and he would walk around in his robe like he was at a resort.
What the fuck?
He'd be coming back from the laundry room just in his robe with his fucking laundry basket.
Basket of laundry.
You have to put clothes on, dude. You're outside. This isn't a building.
I just
You're
watched
outside.
I will in a minute.
They would fuck with the sliding glass door open, and you would hear this awful, like, horrible fucking, like, because they're both like sleazy, so it was just like kind of gross.
Yeah.
And then they would pop outside like 2 minutes later and want to pet your dog, and you're like, no, it's your...
I know what you've just been touching.
There's semen on your hand. Don't put that on my dog. Away from me.
You just wiped it off your mouth.
Oh, God damn it. So that's why you don't talk to your neighbors. So
that's great.
This regime Beverly, she also said that she worked for Martha Freeman at home because the Freemans have a business of their own, and she would do data input in the computer sometimes, like from home for them as like she'd make a couple extra bucks and they needed some clerical work done, some data entry. So no big deal here for. Apparently for Regine, she was just something to do, and it helps them out and whatever, gives her something to do. So in 2003 and 2004 in that area here, their business was called Resifax. It's a company that did background checks for apartments and employers. Whatever. It seems like a pretty standard business. They had grown though here to the business really grew, and so that's when they moved to Brentwood. Brentwood and had like this beautiful home and all that. And at this point here, Jeffrey left his other job to run ResiFax full time, so he had like a high paying career. But this was too big to
background checks are paying.
Yeah, they're paying, and this was basically it was to a point where it was either stay where we are and do the company on the side, or take a shot at growing big and having this be our life. So they do that. Another one here. People who know these people, who know Martha Ann and Jeffrey Freeman, a guy named Tony Cantrell. He says that in 2001 and 2002, he helped Jeffrey Freeman he helped Martha Ann Freeman by hanging out with her elderly mother. Oh. He called it babysitting her, just because. Well, I mean, she was, I guess, couldn't take care of herself.
I get it.
So
he's right. It's just.
Will you sit with my mother while we go out of town?
It's mom sitting, dude.
If she goes to the back door, that means she wants to go out. Like, it's very strange, but I get it though. If someone can't take care of themselves. Now this guy, this Tony Cantrell, said that he didn't know if Freeman ever even checked his background at all. He said because he has a conviction for possession with intent to distribute more than 5 grams of cocaine from 1996. So he's not
dangerous.
No, but he's got a drug charge from 6 years earlier. So he said, I don't even know if the guy checked my background or if he just let me work or if he didn't care about my background. Now Cantrell does kind of like odd jobs for them. Eventually he learns about their business, ResiFax, once they've kind of made it their main business, and found out that they needed help. So this Tony Cantrell suggested his wife, Tara Cantrell, for someone to work in the office, and the Freemans hired her on at ResiFax.
Okay.
So this Cantrell,
doubling his income.
He's he's pushed his wife into a job there. Got her a job there, and then he does odd jobs for them also. He says that Tara Cantrell and he have 3 children together, the Cantrells. She started working for them in September 2002 at ResiFax, and that was the point where at first it was a home business. Yeah. They just did it out of their office at home, and then they actually had to go get an office in Brentwood, which is good for them. So they said the move. That's when they moved to Brentwood in 2003ish. Mm-hmm. That's when Jeffrey quit his job and all that and began running the company, and Martha too. The two of them were. It's also at this point. Martha, you would think, okay, well, I mean, I don't know what's in people's heads also, but they have kind of the American dream here. I mean, they built up their own home business enough to the point where they can quit their jobs working for other people to make their own money, and they're making enough money to move to an affluent area.
Freedom, motherfucker.
And also to hire people and to fucking give people jobs, which is fucking awesome. The more jobs, the better. So like, that's all great, but Martha's not happy with this whole arrangement.
What?
She's not happy with this shit. I mean, some people, that's not their cup of tea. It's just not. And she's bored. She's not happy with life.
Background searches aren't exciting.
It's not exciting her. Background searches
should be.
And a husband who is excited about background searches isn't her cup of tea. It's just not. We'll find out. Martha's got other things drawing her.
Have you ever done a background search on anybody?
Yeah.
Like because you did plenty of shit.
Kids.
Right.
Yeah. And I used to be a process server. So
well, I got in trouble. Right. Exactly. My point. I got in trouble with a job, and they were railroading me for something that was stupid.
Yeah.
And so I decided I was like, well, who's my boss? I'm gonna look, and I looked up their
That's
record
amazing.
and found so much domestic abuse. I was like, this person tells me what to do every day, and beats the shit out of their spouse.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I love background searches. I don't know how this person could be bored with it when it's so exciting, especially when you find all the charges people are convicted of.
Look at what we do.
Right.
Like, this is a blast. This is all I do.
It's
like a shitty background search, a comedian level background search of just everything I can find in the world.
I love it.
But she is not so happy with it. To make up for that, she starts taking a whole lot of pills.
Oh boy.
She gets into pills a lot. Pretty fucking heavy. That's her thing, and that's going to come up a lot here in this story.
How old is she?
They're in their early. I think he's 44, she's 40, something like that. So I mean, they're the age of what exactly fit into the demographic.
White wine lady. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's kind of into that. Now, by September of 2004, right now, Regine Beverly said, starting in September 2004, Regine's a neighbor, she noticed that Martha's car was no longer at the house anymore. She said for several months she didn't see her. This is from September 2004 until Super Bowl Sunday of in 2005, which is in late January if you're not American. So that's a good 5-month period that she didn't see her car there or see Martha there at all. Yeah, a whole season. But really, the beginning of this, maybe that's what she did. Yeah. She went to follow the Titans. She stays in hotels that they're at and all that shit. Now, so she's gone there. Now, where was Martha? Where did Martha disappear to?
Where?
Beverly, Regine started getting worried about her,
really?
Obviously. Well, yeah, she just disappeared, and she talked to her in the yard and all that. If she was going on an extended 6-month whatever, she probably would have brought that up at some point. So it's like, where the hell did Martha go? She doesn't know if they just have her having marital problems, or who the fuck knows? Is she dead? Should we start searching the woods? What's going on here? We do find out Martha is staying at an extended stay hotel for about 6 months.
Oh, that's expensive.
That's expensive. And she requested she would have Tony Cantrell, the kind of odd job guy, do kind of run errands for her while she was at the hotel, including taking her to the ATM and taking her to get food and shit like that. She'd call him up and be like, hey, come grab me, and I want to go here and get cash.
Oh, she's pilled up.
She's all filled up. Yeah. So, and she just wanted, he worked for them. Yeah. So she would just call him up and say, come fucking drag me around. You're my driver today. And that's his odd job for the day. So he would do it at that point, which is very odd. But there's a guy named David Bixby, who's the manager at the Candlewood Suites, which is where she was staying, which I've seen those Candlewood Suites.
I stayed in one. They're not bad.
They're okay. It's a mid to lower tier. It's all right.
It's got a kitchenette.
It's just it's one of those hotels that's clean, but just not like right up to date. It's just one of those hotels. Like 20 years ago, it would have been awesome.
Right.
And now it's like, it's still clean, but it's just a little dingy, but who cares?
A lot of parties in here that they cleaned up after.
But for
cleaned up real nice.
For $105 a night, fuck it. You know what I mean? All the other hotels are $200, so let's just stay here. That's kind of how we roll.
I think that's where I stayed in Seattle.
I think it was Sacramento.
Portland.
Sacramento.
It was Sacramento. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was definitely Sacramento. You stayed there. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't awful.
And Sacramento Improv, goddamn nice club.
Was it an improv? No.
That was an improv.
No, it wasn't. It was Punchline.
No, it wasn't. Punchline. Oh, it was.
It was a punchline.
It is Punchline.
Yeah.
Why did I say improv?
I don't know.
It is. It was a Punchline. It was
definitely a Punchline.
Sacramento, and it was great. They were awesome. So if you're in Sacramento, go see a comedy show there. You'll have a good time.
It's the same place that Pablo Francisco had his meltdown.
Yes, it is.
Google that one on YouTube and enjoy yourself.
Wow,
that's a good one.
You want to see a man fall apart in front of a room full of people? That is sad stuff.
Now.
That's sad, man. Because we both know Pablo and met him multiple times. And
great
talked
dude.
To him
He better get his shit under control.
Real nice guy. I don't want him to croak. So get it together.
Fucking figure it out.
You're going to die in a hotel room, and that's not what we want. Like I've said that too. That's the last.
Don't go the way of John Panette.
I don't want to die in a hotel room. That's the way I don't want to go out, and that's the way comedians and wrestlers die. And he's going to go out that way, and it's sad, and I don't want to see that. So this David Bixby, the manager at the Candlewood Suites, which is a highly prestigious position, he says.
He's very just depressed about his life.
When his employees come in, they salute him in the morning. Captain. No, he comes to work very sad and makes sure the coffee's fresh in the lobby. And he's like,
short sleeve button down with a tie,
short sleeve polo shirt, and he's like, "This is what my life is now." Well, I guess it's indoors, so that's good. It's when it's hot out, this is okay. When it's cold out, it's good.
When the AC goes down in the lobby.
Not my problem. I call maintenance. So this Bixby said that Martha Ann Freeman, checked in October 12th, 2004, and checked out January 29th, 2005.
That's a long time.
That's an extended stay right there. That's exactly what she used that thing to its utmost. She got
her DNA is everywhere.
Oh, well, wait till you hear what happened here. This Bixby stated that...
that's my goal, real quickly. When I stay in a hotel, my goal is to leave as little trace of me
I'd
there
like to not have any.
possible.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a big bed and I'm there alone, half that bed is pristine when I leave.
Yeah, me too.
It's beautiful.
I make a very small footprint. I really do. There's like some water bottles that I put in the garbage can and like maybe a pizza box that I'll leave wherever.
Maybe some water droplets in the tub, but
outside,
that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Outside of that, I clean up after myself. I feel feel weird.
I'm in and out of this bitch.
Like, I don't tip well enough.
Sometimes I'll make a mess.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to be there a couple of days, I'll make a goddamn mess. But if I'm staying just one night, you'll barely notice I was there.
Yeah, you'll be like, wow, he must have slept us on top of the covers there. Just did he sleep in a chair?
One towel? He didn't even wash his face?
Wow, so weird. Well, Bixby, he finds out, he just knows because he's the manager, that Martha Ann is not staying in this room alone.
Okay.
She is also there with a man named Rafael de Jesus Roca Perez.
Oh.
Who is staying with her the entire time.
Latin lover.
Oh yeah. He is a Mexican immigrant. He's from Mexico.
Yeah.
He's not.
No?
He's not. No.
Say that name again. It's 4 names, James.
Rafael de Jesus Roca Perez.
Oh, Jesus.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
He is not the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life in the pictures. No, really not that handsome.
She chose that over being in an affluent life with owning a business.
She kind of chose both, if we're getting honest here.
Let's keep going.
She's she's living in an extended stay, and she's got money, and she's doing fine. She's got a guy, a servant who drives her around and all this shit, and she's got some dude she's keeping in the hotel room. Yeah. She's kind of living multiple different lives here, straddling 2 different worlds and a Mexican guy.
Yeah.
She's straddling a lot of things right now. So she's staying there. Now, this David Bixby also said on occasion he saw Jeffrey Freeman come by as well, the husband. He came by and asked to speak with Martha, and Bixby said that he saw them meet and talk in the lobby, not in the room where the guy was.
She came down to the lobby.
She came down to the lobby of the Candlewood to talk to her husband about shit.
Good God.
Which is interesting here.
Life is on the skids.
It's shit's getting really weird and kind of sleazy and twisty here.
You can't see the end of this tunnel.
No.
It's foggy out.
And right now, you have no idea what's happening in the story. It's not like a clear-cut thing of what's going on. You're like, what's happening? Who's plotting against who? Is it going to be jealousy? Is it going to be what are we after here?
Is she going to duck him to a candlewood chair and make him watch?
Is he going to be jealous? And who knows what happens here? So you never know. Stay tuned. So
she going to cuckold him?
Oh, maybe. Well, we'll find out what she's into because she's wow. Now, Scotty Dodd, who's a guy who's the housekeeping supervisor at the Candlewood Suites.
Scotty Dodd,
D-O-D-D. Yeah. He's overseeing everything here. He's making sure he's the DNA cleanup guy. He's making sure that all
the guy with the Q-tips.
All the jizz is out of the room. All visible jizz is out of the room. No jizz on my watch. It's got like a bumper sticker on his little cart. You know, the housekeeping cart.
I think that's why I feel so bad for those ladies because
it's all jizz. That's all they're cleaning.
A
up.
hotel room is built for that.
That's it. People
built for fucking.
People have sex in it. People there alone, or it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. There's not a surface that's touchable in a hotel room.
There doesn't have to be 2 people in there for fucking to be happening.
No,
it's happening.
I try to stay on the hard surfaces that you can, see clean. Try to avoid the porous ones. Try to avoid all porous surfaces.
Yeah.
My James's hotel tips. Hotel tips from Small Town Murder. Avoid all porous surfaces and bring your own toilet paper.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And thank you, Barbara Pagani.
Thank you.
We have so much toilet paper.
Sent us a shitload of toilet paper, and a whole tour's worth of toilet paper.
Every city will have its own roll.
It's gonna have a new. Yeah, we're gonna get. We're gonna feel all just like a new roll. If there's some left, just toss it up in the air. Pow. Walk out.
Put that back on the roll and be like, next person stays in this room. You are welcome.
Just TP the room. That's all over the room. Just be like, walk out. You gotta leave a good tip if you're gonna do that.
Pagani.
Yeah, you gotta leave like a $30 tip if you're gonna TP the room, because that's gonna be a huge pain in the ass to clean up. I don't want to fuck up the housekeeper's day. I feel bad, but so now this guy said that he obviously was in the room a lot and knew of the housekeepers know what's happening in a hotel room if nobody else does. I feel like that's why they hire ones that don't speak English most of the time, so they won't tell on people in English for what's happening.
The only people that are going to tell can't communicate it to everyone.
Be like, I don't speak Guatemala.
I don't speak watermelon.
I don't speak none of that, what you're saying.
Right.
So, clarify what you just said, please. That was, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Jackson.
No.
Please don't.
The word
you can't say, but yeah, I know, but you
when
can't
they say it with an accent. It sounds like watermelon.
Watermelon, yeah, right. It sounds like it does actually.
Watermelon.
So. But when you never mind, you know what I'm talking about. You can't say that and think that somebody's not going to fucking take that out of context.
Right,
and if you did, go fuck your mother, because that's ridiculous. Obviously, it was based on how a word sounds in Jimmy's silly mind, not fucking anything else. So, anyway.
Clarify that. I like these.
It's good shit. Clarify. So this guy said that Roca Perez was present every time he, quote, serviced Freeman's room, which sounds really sexual also. Yeah. I was servicing her room.
I was servicing while he was servicing.
So, he said that at one point, too, and this is interesting, Scotty Dodd says that Freeman was, quote, overly friendly a little too often with him. And we'll find out kind of maybe what she's after in a few minutes here.
An extra towel or two?
Well, maybe not. An extra something or two, but not a towel. Stated that, she was like overly friendly, and he said that he kept his distance from her and felt uncomfortable around her.
Friendly.
Which is, like he was like, oh, she's going to grab my dick any minute now. I should probably just clean this. And, if I see her slip out to go get something to eat, maybe that's the time I clean the room type of thing here. Now, a guy named John Hollins, who's an attorney in Nashville. He's a divorce attorney in Nashville. He says that he met with Jeffrey on December 29th, 2004, which is exactly a month before she checks out of the hotel, to discuss the legal rights associated with divorce, as far as the business and the property and all that, and what she's going to be. How bad am I going to take it in the fucking ass over this?
What the fuck is she entitled to?
Yeah, what's going to happen to me here? This Hollins, the attorney, gave Jeffrey some initial advice on the whole thing, but then Jeffrey never returned. So we don't know if he went and visited other attorneys, and because that's if you're in a high dollar divorce,
is always reconcile if you can.
Yeah, try not to get divorced if you can, or if you do get divorced, here's what my retainer is, and all this you need to pay me.
Give me money, and then I'll tell you how bad you're going to get robbed.
Or
I'm going to rob you first,
or make it work. Right. So either way, someone's robbing you. Maybe two people. We'll find out.
Somebody will rob you the rest of your life, or I'll just rob you for a couple of years.
We'll see. Yeah, you never know. We'll see how long it drags on.
See?
You never know.
You never know. She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I could rob you for a while.
All the time. So he never goes back, Jeffrey Freeman, to this lawyer. Now, Regine Beverly says that she and Martha were friends, but they didn't socialize weekly or anything like that. Regine does recall that Freeman's mother, Martha's mother, Margaret Cockrell is her name. Cockril. Yeah. Cockrell, which is
that is tough.
Too close to cockroll, which sounds awful. That sounds like that sounds like terrible sushi. I'll have the.
Can I have a cockerel?
What is that cockerel? What's that have in it? Oh, there's tuna. Okay, yeah. So
tuna and foreskin.
I like spicy
sounds
tuna.
Great.
Oh, foreskin around the. Oh, I see. You fry the foreskin and it goes around the raw tuna.
That's it. Leave a little eel sauce
instead of the seaweed.
Right.
It's the eel sauce. Oh, the eel sauce is the key. It makes it rich and tasty at that. But I like the sweetness that comes off of it. That foreskin, it needs a sweetness. It's got needs a balance.
As long as it's raw, it's chewy.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, well, that's going to be fried. That's you want a crisp foreskin, Jimmy. What are you talking about?
Tempura style foreskin? That sounds great.
I think that's what you're looking for. Yeah, obviously it's tempura. Duh. What are we talking about? I'm not going to pan fry it. It's a tempura. It's a tempura mix.
You don't make it like pot stickers?
No, it's not like a pot sticker at all. So this Beverly. That's awesome.
That's disgusting.
It's very disgusting. Sorry about that one. That I actually am kind of sorry about. That was bad. No, I think I brought it up, so I'm not sorry.
Well, here's the thing. It's not near as gross as a burned down bleach fire factory.
That was gross. That really was. Smells like a burned down blood.
I'm not sad about it.
But you know what? I'm proud of that because that was everybody got the picture, didn't they? They knew exactly what the fuck I was saying. Yeah. So I think that was descriptive. As descriptive, it was successful as a descriptor. So.
As descriptive as it is disgusting.
Exactly, it's both. So this Regine Beverly said that Martha's mother, Margaret Cockrell, moved in with the Freemans after Regine stopped working for the home business. Regine worked for their business when it was out of their home. Mm-hmm. Once they moved into the office in Brentwood, then she stopped working there. Her. Well, she just did. The whole point was it was across the street, so she'd help out. But if they're going to have an office and employee, she doesn't need to go down there.
Commute. you? Jesus.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? No, she's
For your $8
you see my house? I'm not.
Outta
Yeah,
here.
get out of here. So, so I guess Martha cared for Margaret, her mother, until her mother died. Now, this Regine said that she saw Martha on Super Bowl Sunday and started to talk with her, and she started, she talked to her on Super Bowl Sunday, and she offered to start taking walks with her. She's like, you want to start taking walks? Because she thought she was sad, her mother died and all that, and she didn't know she was having problems. She was gone for a few months, so she's like, hey, let's start taking walks together in the evening. What do you say?
Nice.
Maybe after dinner? Yeah, she's trying to be a nice friend. Again, my nightmare. Having a neighbor go, want to take walks after dinner? Fuck no, I don't want to walk with you. Why? What are we,
Do you
dating?
have a joint? Are we getting away from everybody so we don't get caught?
Yeah, what's happening here? Do you want to blow me in the woods? I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be here with you. I'm going away. So, she said Beverly said that they didn't take walks, and she didn't see Martha much more after that. Oh, no. Like her attendance was spotty at the house also. Regine did say that 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, Martha explained to Regine that she was on medication. She said, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm a little out there sometimes, or if, I don't want to go on walks, or if I seem kind of spacey, I'm on a lot of medication and that sort of thing. So
Spanish cock.
The Spanish cock, it could get you high. So, Regine said, she saw Jeffrey in his yard, Jeffrey Freeman in his yard on April 9th, 2005, standing with Martha. She said there was nothing peculiar about the way they were acting. There was no, they weren't like swinging rakes and shovels at each other or anything. They were just civilly talking in the yard.
Having a chat.
Yeah, go inside. What are you doing? So, anyway. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our favorite sponsors, Leesa Mattresses.
Leesa.com.
Leesa.com. If you're feeling down, you're feeling tired, the night's sleep might be your problem. You might need a good night's sleep. It might be your mattress. You never know. You should probably, no matter what, get yourself a Leesa mattress, though, because they are so comfortable. You will sleep so well. Our whole houses are filled with Leesa mattresses from them. Honestly, they gave us mattresses, and then we've gotten more mattresses because that's how good they are. We're like, well, might as well buy a Leesa if we're going to buy one. They're that good. I sleep on them. Our kids sleep on them. They're fantastic. It's the product of more than 30 years of experience in mattress engineering and hundreds of hours of testing, comprised of a 3-foam layer system here that provides cooling pressure, relief, body contouring, and support. Over 300,000 happy Leesa sleepers agree. The Leesa mattress gives them the rest they need, and you can count Jimmy and I among those people, those happy Leesa sleepers. Order your mattress right now, your Leesa mattress, online at Leesa.com/small, and use the promo code SMALL. Try it risk-free for 100 nights. Risk-free. It ships directly to your door in a convenient box with free shipping and free returns. You open it up, the mattress comes out, it's ready in a few hours. It's awesome. Find the right mattress for you at Leesa.com/small and get the rest you need tonight. Get up to $160 off the Leesa mattress, or $235 off the luxury Sapira mattress, and free shipping on the Leesa mattress at Leesa.com/small, and enter promo code SMALL at checkout. That's LEESA.com/small, promo code SMALL.
LEESA.com/small, promo code SMALL. 100 free trial, 100 night free trial. Sleep like me and James. And now back to the show.
April 10th, 2005. On this day, Martha goes to Walgreens at 10:01 p.m. and has a prescription filled. It's a prescription for a hydrocodone.
That a girl.
That a girl. And
get your itchy face.
Well, later on, we find out that from the Walgreens here that she's had a lot of medications purchased at this Walgreens beginning in January 2005 when she came back from the hotel, and ending in April of 2005. This was Allegra, which is an antihistamine allergy thing. Alprazolam, which is an anxiety thing. They said the side effects are drowsiness, especially when taken with antidepressants or painkillers. And then Lexapro, which is an antidepressant. Lipitor, which is a cholesterol drug. Ambien, which is obviously a sleeping pill.
She's got a lot of fucking problems.
Atican, which is used to lower blood pressure. Gabapentin, which is to treat seizures. Hydrocodone, which is a painkiller, which is obvious obviously drowsiness, birth control patches, temazepam.
You don't want a baby in that environment with all
that other shit floating around.
And temazepam?
Temazepam, which is an insomnia thing, and Effexor, which is an antidepressant, and Purantin, which is an antibiotic.
She's got everything.
That's a 4-month period. I have not had those drugs, that much shit in my body my entire life. That much prescription shit. Seriously, my entire life I haven't taken that much.
In 4 months she picked all that shit up?
I haven't filled that many prescriptions my whole life that she did in that 4-month period.
Why is the doctor giving her all that shit? She's a serious case.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's, I mean, she's really into pills of all kinds and all sorts of shit here. Now, Hazel Freeman, who's Jeffrey's mother, she says that her son would call her once a week, usually on Sunday night, around midnight Eastern time, which is 11 p.m. Central time. The night of April 10th, she received a phone call from Martha instead of from Jeffrey. And Martha says that Jeffrey was ill and couldn't talk tonight, but he wanted her to, he wanted Martha to call his mom and said, make sure she said she didn't worry about him. Sure. So Martha said that she gave him medication and he went to bed. Like, he took some NyQuil and he's sleeping it off right now. So Hazel said that was fine with her, and she said nothing was out of the ordinary, nothing was weird, so no worries there. He's sleeping. Who cares? So now, April 11th, 2005, the next day, Karen Neal is another neighbor. She also lives across the street from the Freemans. These fucking neighbors, man. This woman, Karen, says that she was awake at 7:45 a.m. on the morning of April 11th, and as she was getting ready for work, she saw Martha, who appeared to be alone, standing on her front porch smoking a cigarette, just standing out there. This Karen Neal says that Martha was very still and, quote, rather unusual, and Neal was concerned she might need help. She said she was worried about her, like she was just standing out there smoking. Kind of. It's 7:45 in the morning.
Who the fuck's happy at that time?
Well, I mean, if you just woke up and you went outside to smoke a cigarette, you're going to be in like this zombie zone out, staring into the woods, pondering your existence. I'm going
to do this shit again.
Yeah. Can I fake an illness today and not do that? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, whatever.
Also, she takes a lot of fucking pills.
And that's the other thing. She's pilled out like to the max. So if she's standing very still, if you took half that shit that she just prescribed, you'd be standing very still also.
She just threw that fistful down her gullet 10 minutes ago.
I'm surprised she was standing. That part is pretty impressive, if I'm being honest with you. Not just sitting in a chair catatonically. She was like standing, was ambulatory and smoking. That's pretty impressive. She had the dexterity to light a cigarette.
Right.
So
she's doing great.
Right away. She's handling her shit pretty well.
She's fucking killing it.
Yeah, she handles it, man. So Tara Cantrell, who is Tony Cantrell's wife from before, who works at the company at Resifax. She worked there for 3 years. She wasn't there. She said Martha wasn't at the business every day. She wasn't there all the time. She was only there.
Can't.
Well, yeah, she's busy filling prescriptions. But Jeffrey was always there. Okay. He was a workaholic and he was always there. She said that he was just always there, and she talks about, it's funny too, her husband met them. He wasn't even doing like business stuff. He was like cleaning gutters and shit. Ugh. Like cleaning their windows and gutters, and then was like, hire my wife, she knows how to type.
That's nice.
And so that was good anyway. So she says Jeffrey usually came into work around 8 a.m. and he was there after she left at 5. So he'd be there early and there late. Jeffrey, he came to work about 8 o'clock, and he usually left work at 6 or 7.
My kind of man.
Yeah, he worked hard. They said he never called in sick, ever, never didn't come in, and he worked on weekends a lot too.
Attaboy.
So he was just working his ass. He had a new business. Yeah. That was his whole life now.
Got to build it.
And he's got as we know, Brentwood's expensive. He's got a big fat fucking mortgage that's depending wholly on this business. Yeah. And we understand what it's like to have a lot depending on a fucking business that you're running, because this is a business that we're running.
Stuff.
And it's hard, and you do worry.
Yeah.
So now Tara Cantrell says she received a phone call from Martha between 8 o'clock and 8:30 a.m. on April 11th. So this is 15 minutes after she was seen smoking a cigarette, looking a little weird out there. And
now
possibly
she's making phone calls.
Now she's making phone calls.
She's doing great.
She's doing great. Yeah. She's dialing numbers. Yeah. She's talking. She's walking. She's talking. She's really
smoking.
putting it together. together. She's
doing
smoking. She's putting it together. Good for her. So
it's a good start.
This is a good start to your day. Yeah. Martha told Cantrell that Jeffrey would not be at work that day because he's sick. Oh. She said he's still sick, and she said that Freeman was fine. She sounded totally normal on the phone. Martha
calling in for him.
She's calling in for him.
That's how sick he
is. With the mother. Yeah, he's not going to be there. He's sick. So, carry on without him. Okay. Tara also says, Cantrell says she worked the morning of April 11th, and then like I said, she received that call. She's ill. She's not going to be in that day. Mm-hmm. Now, next thing you know, a little bit later on, Regine Beverly is in her house, chilling and doing her thing, doing whatever, and all of a sudden there is a pounding on her door. A fast, hard pounding, like the cops are there or something. Like she's like, what the shit is going on? I don't think that happens. I think even solicitors are polite in this neighborhood. They come just
couple raps.
Yeah, just one of those, a little something happy. Hey, come on to the door.
Maybe somebody will knock back.
Yeah.
That little game.
And I bet these houses have doorbells too. Mm-hmm. So for someone to come just pounding on the door is like whoa, what the fuck's going on?
Or one of those big knockers.
Yeah, some shit like that. They probably do. So Regine Beverly says that Martha was at the door pounding on it. She said, Regine said that Martha was shaking and panicking and very scared when she first entered the house. She was freaking out, having a meltdown here. Regine said that she saw, nothing to indicate she didn't have ropes hanging off her. She didn't just escape from a basement or anything like that.
She's clothed.
She seemed normal in that, regard, except for her actions and whatever. She said it appeared that something had just happened because she was like disheveled and panicked, but she wasn't like, she wasn't like, with like a shackle behind her or anything like that, like that woman who rang that doorbell.
The one most recently?
The one most recently.
The Ring doorbell.
By the way, goddamn Ring doorbells, they are awesome. They
fucking incredible.
Yeah, that was an incredible story for that. Yeah, that
caught
woman,
the woman with the handcuff on.
Yeah,
and by the way, they
nuts.
just sent her back to the family, and it was just like they called it a domestic dispute.
Well,
Nobody
later
even got
on,
arrested, right?
No, the guy killed himself.
Oh, he did?
In the house, yeah.
Oh,
she
that's
escaped,
awesome.
and the guy killed himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went nuts that night, and I guess he had been.
I guess they
periodically
updated that later.
Yeah, later on they talked to her. She finally talked. He ended up killing himself, and she was like in counseling now and back with her family, and shit was crazy because he was like horrible and was like tying her up and he was like tying her up and raping her and holding her hostage and shit all the time. Yeah, it was a
Black Snake Moan.
It was a fucked up story, man. Jesus, it was as fucked up, as creepy as that picture was of her with the wrist restraints, which made me just go, oh God, somebody help that. I felt so
in
bad.
A t-shirt and nothing else.
Help her.
Somebody open your fucking door.
Yeah, help her. I was, God, Jesus, where is this woman? That was good to get closure on that story. When I read the thing, I was like, oh, thank fuck, Jesus. Okay, she's all right at least. Not all right, but she's not dead.
She's not going to be all right for a long time.
Nobody left her in a ditch dead is what I'm saying, which is how a lot of that shit ends.
Which might be a better relief,
Jesus, who knows? I mean, it depends on your psyche, I guess.
Depends on the abuse that you take.
That's horrible.
The torture can either you just want to die or just fucking you get through it. But that's tough stuff.
That's tough stuff. So Martha comes into Regine Beverly's house. Mm-hmm. Beverly says that Martha did not look her in the eye. Yeah. She just marches in the house looking panicked and disheveled and everything else, and won't look Beverly in the eye and just says, quote, a man killed my husband. So a man killed my husband.
How do you know that?
Pretty fucking vague at that point. So Regine Beverly says, did you call 911?
That's a good question.
Good question right away. And Martha said no.
Why?
So, not great. Yeah. So, I mean, then Regine's like, well, maybe that's why she ran over here.
Right.
So Beverly picks up the phone and dials 911. Beverly talks to the operator, and she said that Martha just stood there while she talked to the operator. Yeah. She said the operator asked Beverly a few questions, and then Regine handed the phone to Martha, and Martha did not respond to the operator's questions. She just stood there.
Just listening.
Listening. So Regine was like, okay, and like gently took the phone back, like, okay, I guess I'll take that back. This is getting fucking weird. Yeah. So she says that Martha was somewhat stern and then was not crying after a while. Mm-hmm. Like she wasn't crying. She didn't come in teary-eyed, like, oh my God. She came in just like shaky and like
hysterical.
Yeah, not hysterical, shaky, but and like, like something bad just happened and was like, a man killed my husband. But was like very like Kind of like on Deadwood when the guy comes in and says a family just got butchered out there by them Indians, and they don't believe him, and they make him go out with him too, and then the girl says that anyway. The guy ended up he was part of a robbery party of this family, and Wild Bill Hickok shot him in the head.
I should watch that,
and you should totally watch it. He shot him right in the fucking head in the street.
Definitely gonna watch.
It's goddamn amazing. So it's like if Tombstone was better. It's what it's like.
How is that possible? I'll have
watch
to find
this
out.
shit. There's no Al Swearingen in Tombstone. He's a better character than Doc Holliday. It's
you think so?
He's amazing.
All right, I'll have to
amazing.
watch.
He's incredible. So anyway,
I don't know, man. That Doc Holliday is so
he's
likable.
Cool.
He's so likable.
Wait till you see Al. Al Swearingen, as horrible of a person as he is very, very he's a very Omar-esque character in that way.
Holliday's been played by so many characters, and
none more. Val Kilmer only did
none more.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
He gave him
so good.
some panache,
gave him some personality.
Yeah,
that's so good.
So Beverly states that Martha was never crying at all. Beverly said, "I never even offered her tissues, so I know she wasn't crying." She said she simply sat down on her steps on the stairs in her house and just sat there while Beverly talked to 911, and that's it. Now, so she was. The operator would ask Regine questions. Regine would ask Martha the questions, and they do this little telephone chain game here.
Because she can't say those words into a receiver.
Yeah, she can't do it, apparently. Now, Martha says that she knew the man who killed her husband, and that her husband had... that I guess her husband had found him, she says. She goes, "I know the man who killed my husband. My husband found him." Now, we'll find out about found him in a minute here. Now, Beverly tells the operator here that Martha didn't know if the man was still inside her house either. She said, "Is the man still inside is there still a murderer in your house?"
That's a good question.
That's a question that needs to be answered. And she says, "I don't know." It's like, well, that's something you should ascertain probably. Yeah. So, Karen Kirby here, who's another neighbor in this, these people are all looking out the windows at all times. She says that around 3:30 or 3:45 p.m., she saw a Hispanic man run through her neighborhood, which is an odd thing in this neighborhood. Yeah. Not a lot of Hispanic men running through the neighborhood here without a weed whacker in their hand, I feel like. She's like, "Is he?" Oh, she tried to flag him down to see if he'll trim her bushes probably or something. "I have hedge. Hold up. Wait.
Sir, I have money for you."
Wait, just waving cash. It's like, I live down the street, you fucking asshole. I own the house 3 houses down. No, but this guy was an unrecognized guy running through the neighborhood. He was running from a wooded area and into a house under construction. Okay. So there was a house being built. She said that he had shoulder-length hair and was wearing shorts down to his knees, had a maroon T-shirt, and later on, when showed pictures, she identified him as Roca Perez, the guy from the Candlewood Suite hotel room. Right. So she saw him run into the house, and as she saw him run into the house, she saw police cars drive up the street where the Freemans live. Yeah. So this was all happening in
at the same time.
Fluid, same time, yeah. She sees Hispanic man run by, go into a house under construction. Yep. Then she looks over, police cars pull up in front of the Freeman's house. So this is all like... Whoa, what's happening in the neighborhood here right now? So, she describes all that. She also said that a short time later, emergency vehicles arrived also after the police. Regine Beverly said she never saw anyone run from the Freeman's house during this period of time, but she wasn't staring at the house either. Right. She was on the phone. She's got
a weird lady there.
Yeah, she's trying to deal with some pilled out woman with my husband found him, and I know the guy who killed him, and all this weird shit here. So back at the Freeman residence, which is I'm very curious about here, what the fuck's happening here, an officer, Joseph High, is there. He said he's the first police officer at the scene. He waited for other cops to come in, and when they did, they went in and searched the residence, obviously. Yeah. They find Jeffrey. He has no signs of life. He is dead as can be. He's on the master bathroom floor inside of a sleeping bag, which is
he was snoozing by the toilet?
I've never pulled up a sleeping bag into my bathroom.
Not once.
Ever. That's like some shit you do if you're sharing a motel room with 6 other guys. You're like, I'll just take a sleeping bag and go in the bathroom.
Put it in the tub.
Fuck it. It's fine. It'll be my own private area. I don't care.
I wouldn't even take it in there to clean it. If a sleeping bag's dirty, you throw that shit away.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Done.
I'll buy a new one.
Fuck it. I've had it for 20 years. It sat in the garage. I've used it twice.
It's got more dirt on it from my garage than it does from the forest floor.
From the floor, yeah. I'm throwing this away. This is terrible. There's mice living in it. It's It's turned into a fucking
I had
nest.
a sleeping bag so long that I took it camping with me in 6th grade, and
it disintegrated.
Somebody tried to do one of those like shaving cream tricks on me, where I like fell asleep first, and they put shaving cream in, tickle my nose. It didn't work. I just rubbed shaving cream all over my sleeping bag. I woke up in the morning, there's shaving cream fucking everywhere. That shaving cream was still on that sleeping bag till I threw it away when I was 25 years old.
That's amazing. See, that's what happens. It's
15 years later.
Lazy as fuck. Sleeping bags are not something that you pick up all the time. Yeah. Let's get the sleeping bag cleaned. I've never said that.
No. I've never said I got to
dry cleaner. I got to drop the sleeping bag off at the cleaners, and then
the cleaners is my fucking trash can, and then I go to Target and buy a fucking new one.
Yeah, fine. It's a sleeping bag. It's going to get thrown out anyway. Just going to get shaving cream on all over it.
Or I'm going to use it to bury a body, because that's the only other thing you use them for.
Or just throw a body on the master bathroom floor, apparently, and put one in there.
This is the second or third time that a body's been put in a sleeping bag.
In a sleeping bag. It's a popular place to put bodies. It's very strange. It's fascinating. It's odd. A guy named Brian Hampton, a firefighter, he testified that his fire company were called to respond to the Freeman residence in response to a, quote, potentially expired person, which is it's
a very fucking sweet way to say dead as shit.
Odd way to put it. We have a potentially expired person. Maybe dead guy.
Maybe.
Possible dead guy.
We're not sure yet.
He said when they arrived, Martha came from the house across the street from Regine Beverly's house. She appeared to be crying and hysterical and did not make it known that she was a resident in the house, is what the fireman says. So some woman just burst out of the house from across the street and runs up crying and all hysterical, and they're like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Are you just a neighbor? Do you live here?
Lady, take it easy. Somebody inside might be expired.
Yeah, we got a potentially expired situation here. On the inside.
We might have to throw the milk out.
Calm down. Yeah,
chill out.
Shit's crazy. We might have to throw the milk out. So he said this guy started questioning her about basic information. Who are you? Do you live here? Shit like that. Yeah. He asked her when the incident occurred, and she nodded yes, which is not an answer to when. Or what he considered to be a yes. So then he said, okay. So then he started naming time frames to get like...
Tell me when I'm close.
It's literally like, in the well? Is Timmy in the well? Like, she's going... Like,
keep barking, lady.
Super weird. That's the pilled up human version of a dog. I guess he said 20 or 30 minutes, and that's what she nodded to again. So he's like, okay, 20 or 30 minutes. Good girl.
Yeah.
And then she ran off.
22 minutes?
22 minutes. And then he threw a stick, and she ran off and shoot it for like a half hour. So it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
So now he also said, in describing her, he said that she was excited, agitated, and crying, flailing about with her hands and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. She appeared to be upset and was in a highly excitable state. He then said an hour later she was totally calm, which if you have all those drugs, you're going to take some and be pretty calm an hour later, I would say. Now, this firefighter, Hampton, he said when he entered the house with the medical personnel, he's found the body, found Jeffrey there. He had water dripping off his body. But he said lividity had set up. The victim appeared to have been there for a long time. This wasn't a fresh body.
Is that rigor mortis?
Lividity is how the blood settles.
Oh, got it.
That's how the blood settles in your thing.
Got a nasty bruise on his back.
Yeah, he said that rigor had already begun. So that's, like an 12 hour process to that, which takes a certain number of hours. It depends on the temperature and a million other fucking factors.
Fruit flies.
Yeah, well, that'd be later on. Well, that's why it's hard to target time of death, because conditions are all different. Right. So it's you have to factor in
a controlled environment like an air-conditioned home.
Who knows? That's what I mean. So it's he described the body as laying in a partially zipped sleeping bag. Also, little detail, there was a plastic bag over Jeffrey's head, which that's not good. I've never done that to myself. Anyway.
And he was all wet?
All wet. Water dripping off his body in a partially zipped sleeping bag with a plastic bag over his head that was tied or taped, the fireman said.
That is a fascinating suicide.
That's a weird, that's, I don't know if, that's crazy. That's some this autoerotic shit there, but it's not, obviously, here. The plastic bag over the head might be a bit much. Taped.
I mean, that's a dead giveaway. This is a murder.
Yeah, the tapedness of that and the fact that you're part, So Hampton said he didn't notice any blood. and he obviously noticed he determined pretty quickly that Jeffrey was dead and not in any position to be revived.
Right.
He was definitely, the potential went off the expired person thing. We can go ahead and knock potential off our PEP there.
Our description of the individual.
Do you think they call him a PEP? Potentially expired person? We got a PEP at 422 West Elm Street.
They do.
I bet they do. That's why you know they fuck.
Acronyms are everywhere in every form
They're
of
not
business.
going to say potentially expired person if you can just say PEP. So a Sergeant Danny Collins with the Metropolitan Police Department, he said that he was told to drive, up to the house to begin the investigation. He said that that Kirby lady that we talked about, Kirby's husband flagged him down and said, we saw a Hispanic man run by while you guys were pulling up. So might be a connection, who knows, and run into that house that's under construction. So he told the police that. So Kirby and another officer go to this residence that's under construction at about 6:20 p.m.
Does Kirby know there's a dead man in a house and we're looking for a murderer?
They don't know what's going on.
Okay.
They just see a bunch of ambulances and cop cars, and a guy ran by and hid in a house under construction. So they just flag down a cop and go, don't know if you want to know about this, and there might be a murderer hanging out in a house over there.
But I'm not going with the cop. I'm gonna be, look, I saw a man run. He went into the house.
Didn't go with the cop.
Okay.
He just pointed. He went in that house under construction. The cop went with another cop.
Got it.
He went and grabbed another cop and went inside. They're not going to take you. Come with me, sir. Sure, no problem.
Show me.
Do you have a gun by any chance? Strap up, sir. We're going in. I don't.
The other side.
I don't think so.
Grab your flip flops, sir.
Yeah,
come with me.
Come with me. Why don't you trail me? Tell you what, you go in first. Announce our presence. Cover me. So
kick the door and scream, "I have a cop with me."
Yeah. Now, when they get inside this house, there's two people in the main area of this house.
No, we got two.
There's two people there, and they were like doing construction inspection.
Okay.
Like they were inspecting joint things and foundational shit and stuff like that. And they told the cops that showed up, "Hey, by the way, we hear something upstairs. We're not going to go up and investigate it, but by the way, you might want to do that." So the cops go upstairs. They clear those two idiots out of the house first. They go upstairs and they find Roca Perez in the attic rafters, hanging out, all perched up there, trying to hide,
trying to be a rafter.
Very silent, trying to be a bat, just standing there,
going creak.
Yeah. Oh shit, man! Jesus Christ!
I'm a creaky old house. Creak.
So, I'm settling. Don't worry, he farts and says, "Don't worry, I'm just settling."
He's got nervous gas.
That's all it is. I'm settling. The house is settling, and it speaks Spanish. I don't know how to say the house is settling in Spanish. Which is
that's funny. El Hauso?
El Hauso.
Casa?
El Hauso Flatulenzo. I don't know.
El Casa Farto.
El Casa Farto. So
Sweet.
Go away.
Ridiculous.
Go away, cops. The house is farting. So it needs its privacy.
Right.
So obviously other cops come up to kind of surround the perimeter to make sure that when other cops go in, nobody jumps out a fucking window and runs the opposite way. So these cops outside hear them inside, the police officers inside, yelling in both Spanish and English to show me your hands, and every language they can muster.
Amanos.
They're just doing that shit. And so they end up going up and helping with the arrest, because they all have to jump in on it.
Yeah.
I'll put my knee in his shoulder blade, and you put your knee in his calf, and then you put your knee in his head. If we get 9 knees on him, we should be able to handle the situation, I feel like. So they get him into the patrol car and all that kind of shit. Now a detective comes into this, Detective Corcoran. He says that when Roca Perez was found, he was wearing a T-shirt that said "Boom Boom's Boxing School, Sluggers for Chance, Not Chumps," in East St. Louis, Missouri. And they find this because they traced this shirt back to where it was bought. And we'll talk about this in a second. But let's talk about what happened to Jeffrey first, because that was an interesting way to be found. And it doesn't seem like a good way to go, I would say. Now, the medical examiner, he performs the autopsy on April 12th. Jeffrey was 5'7", 231 pounds. That's
it's a heavy boy.
That's a hefty guy. That's a big fella there, because that's about your size.
That's
and
my size.
got about 60 pounds on you.
That's right.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a
He's healthy.
Formidable human. Yeah. They said that he said that he found scrapes on Jeffrey's head, blanching of the skin around the neck, ligature marks around the wrists, and a black eye, and bruising and scrapes inside the mouth.
What?
Also, he had multiple hemorrhages in his scalp, blunt force trauma to the head, and bruises on the front of the left shoulder and chest. He says, based on the injuries, this is a Dr. Thomas Deering, he determines the cause of death to be strangulation, either from a ligature or hands, and the injuries to the head and face were not sufficient to cause death, but they may have caused him to lose consciousness enough to be more easily strangled at that point. He said it would take it doesn't take long for a person to lose consciousness by strangulation, but it takes several minutes to kill someone. As we've talked about 100 times, you see in like a TV show, they strangle someone for 20 seconds and then they lose consciousness and then they stop and they're like, did that? Okay,
that
good.
Was tough.
That was tough. Yeah, that guy's not dead. He's going to come to in like 4 minutes and then tell the cops you tried to strangle him. So that's how that works exactly.
Get back to work.
Yeah. So he also says that Jeffrey was found in wet clothes, but there was nothing specific to say he was drowned, although it was theoretically possible that he could have been drowned too. Any blood present, he said, would likely have come from the laceration on his lip. He had a busted lip, like he got hit in the mouth.
Sounds like he's been through a hell of a fight.
Sounds like a rough fucking night, man. Now he also identified, they had all these autopsy photos that will come up later because they're shown at trial. The ligature marks and the bruising around the neck and wrists were obviously big points of, something you want to check out. Bruising and blanch marks and everything. They want to get those all to be seen by the jury to see that it was kind of a brutal death. Also, the doctor states that the ligature marks on the wrist happened before death, so he was, bound before they killed him, because it wasn't like a setup situation. Bruising around the wrists, they said, mean that he was because that's how they know, basically. Also, the scrapes around the wrist indicate resistance against the bond, so he was fighting against it, and the bruising around the eye was severe enough to require moderate force or a pretty good shot. Someone's got to pop you pretty good to give you this good of a black eye, basically, is what he said, and a busted lip. So somebody punched him a few times.
Took some headshots.
Yeah, the doctor estimates that Jeffrey received 4 to 7 blows to the head. The blow to the eye required moderate force and could have been accomplished with a fist, he said. The orbital bones were not broken around the eye. The nose abrasion was also consistent with being hit by a fist, as was the blow to the top of the head and one to the forehead. They said any of these could have caused him to lose consciousness. They were good and strong enough shots. The ligature marks around the neck could have been caused by a number of things, including hands or a shirt being pulled up around the neck. In theory, he said one could stop breathing and the heart would continue to beat for a few minutes. And he said, he went through a number of scenarios like that. He could have been hit, stunned, bound, and then strangled, they said, and, kind of came to when he was being strangled and forced against his restraints. It was also possible that the injuries could have been caused, the injuries to the head could have been caused after death.
What a terrible way to die.
No, horrible. In your own home.
Fuck.
In your own home. Third, this is another theory that he has. The victim here, Jeffrey, could have been held underwater by the neck, he said. But the doctor said that scenario was theoretically possible. It wasn't very plausible because the wrist mark indicates he was still alive. And if you want to drown someone, you would basically, it would likely wait until the heart stops or beats so slowly that it's ineffective at that point. Where it would, so that's the type of thing here. He said basically, the doctor said there's countless scenarios that could explain this shit. Basically, bottom line is he got beat, bound, and strangled in the end, so it doesn't fucking matter. He also says that he had a large blanch mark on his abdomen from lying face down, so the lividity had set in. That's where the blood was. He also said that the victim had been dead for, quote, at least a number of hours when he was found at 4:00. He estimated that he died anywhere from the evening of April 10th to the morning of April 11th. So he could have been there anywhere. He said 8 to 16 hours, anywhere in there, plus or minus several hours, he said. So who knows? More specific time, he said that 10 p.m. on April 10th to 2 a.m. on April 11th was probably the best scenario, the best he could do. But either way, the night before. and and after she was seen getting a bunch of pills from Walgreens.
But before she was standing on the patio having a cigarette. Getting into character.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
This whole thing is fucking crazy here. He said Jeffrey was definitely dead for at least 8 hours before he was found, maybe even 10 or 12 based on rigor setting. And also, he also said that a spot on the sleeping bag that Jeffrey was found in could be identified as blood, as well as a spot near the shoulder of the T-shirt that he was wearing, Jeffrey. Now, William Kirby, who's the cop here, he's with the identification unit. Yeah. He says that he was assigned to this whole thing. He processed the evidence. He had all the bag and all the shit, all around him. Any evidence, he's the guy who processes it. He also says that he discovered a white plastic trash bag in the kitchen pantry with a silver ring inside it. Okay? That's important later.
Cock ring?
Not a cock ring, a regular ring, or a ring for a very small cock, one or the other. Now, on the kitchen floor,
tiny Spanish cock.
He had to put that, that's not nice, Jimmy.
But I'm just saying, I'm sure there's a tiny one out there.
There's somewhere, tiny any cock. Yeah. I mean, he said, we're looking for either a man with a 7.5 ring or a very small penis. One or the other. We're looking for something. He either has.
I see what you
this
mean by
size
ring.
I'm
just seeing cock ring.
Or a tiny
cock.
one.
I get it. Finger ring.
The first thing you think of
is a cock ring.
Is a cock ring. Wow.
I know, it's disgusting.
That is amazing. First thing that comes to mind, cock ring. For
context, somebody sent me a picture of a cock ring today, and it was a scorpion, and it's fucking vile and terrified me. It's a scorpion that goes...
That is horrific.
There's a hole in the scorpion that you go through, and like it's right behind its head, and then the tail is bulbous. It has like balls in it, and it goes right up the backside.
Oh my God. For the love of Jesus, what the fuck is that?
And I imagine it vibrates. I don't know.
Wow.
But it's a cock ring that also happens to be anal beads.
That is a specialized piece of equipment there.
And I don't know why I was given that, but I wasn't given...
A suggestion?
It was not a suggestion.
Jimmy, there's a new product on the market I think you'd enjoy.
Saw this, thought of you.
Thought of you. There you go. Thanks, Mom. Sorry, I know that's not a...
I love the simplicity of it, and then it surprised me.
Yeah.
It's stupid as fuck.
So stupid and old, but that's the every once in a while there's a reason why there's old shit like that, because it's perfect. It's the perfect thing to say. So oh man,
it's not meant to be in your comedy set. You claiming that as your own,
no,
you motherfucker.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That don't do
but
that.
In the moment of a conversation,
it can be funny.
Like that is fucking
amazing.
Be funny.
Yeah. So it's a silver ring, not meant to be worn on a penis, to be specific. We can wear it anywhere else you want. Also, on the kitchen floor was a black plastic trash bag that contained a telephone cord and latex gloves. Oh. That's an interesting find, I would say.
Now we got something to talk about.
These are things to put together.
Yeah.
He found upstairs in a hallway another black plastic trash bag with a white plastic trash bag inside, and inside of that bag, you figure I double bagged it. No one's going to find that shit. I double bagged. Come on, what are we talking about? Inside that, he found a wet bath mat and a wet pillowcase that appeared bloody. Interesting. The pillowcase matched the one from the master bedroom. What he also finds is a paper sack containing 6 Playboy, Penthouse, and Maxim magazines.
Maxim.
So he was going up the charts. He's like, well, she's got a bathing suit on. Well, here's her just showing her ass and some boob.
Those
and
hometown hotties.
Full bush. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Penthouse. So
Maxim used to be so great when I was young. When I was like 18, that magazine was amazing.
Pre-high-speed internet you're talking about?
No, it wasn't for the women. Like the actual information in the magazine was great.
I've never read
and then Bros took it over, and every magazine was hometown hotties are back. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like you've never seen women before.
Right.
Like, calm down. There's women everywhere. People, look at her. There's women everywhere. Right. Just go fucking talk to them, you weirdos. That's the fuck, man. Try. way.
To get into a UFC fight, you have to bring your your renewal notice for your Maxim.
It's
magazine.
like bringing canned shit to a food drive to get into like a child's concert. You know, it's like a school concert. It's either $5 or 3 cans of food.
Every dude that loves UFC used to subscribe to Maxim.
Sure, still does. They keep it just in case. So, inside of this, like we said, the bloody pillowcase. The pillowcase matched that. He's got all the magazines stretched out in the foyer. There, they found a beach towel, also a long-sleeved gray T-shirt, and a mattress. Were found. Now that the towel was found in the foyer. Okay. Separately, they find a long-sleeved gray T-shirt and a mattress found in a closet of an upstairs bedroom. Okay. There's an Anne Frank not even an Anne Frank. That was
a twin size bed layout.
Like a little futon hideaway mattress inside of a closet where with a T-shirt there.
Camp out there?
Like they're camping out there. Also there in that bedroom, they found a plastic Tiger Mart cup. I guess that's something around there.
Oh, it's a gas station.
2 Dr. Pepper cans, 1 Coke can, 1 Maxim DVD. Oh my!
He's got a portable DVD player, and he's watching Maxim magazine on DVD. What is that?
I don't know what that is. Just girls, I don't know, traipsing around in bikinis. I don't know what that is.
It's just a camera focused on the magazine as somebody flips the pages.
I think so. He's like, oh yeah, that's a good one there. Is to rewind it. Wait, go back. Shit, here. Rewind. Flips the page. I missed
that sentence.
I missed that shit. I read slow. So, in a third bedroom, they found a shotgun also. So they processed the gun for fingerprints and all that. Now, okay, what ends up happening here, basically, now they talk to Martha and they go, okay, what the fuck's the story? We found a mattress in the thing. We found all this shit.
Yeah.
What's happening here? This is a very crazy crime scene that we found. She says that the last couple months since she's been back in the house, Roca Perez has been living in the house unbeknownst to her husband. He has been he's got a 2x8 foot closet that had a foam pad, pillows, blankets, 3 loaves of bread, a Nintendo Game Boy, a radio, several adult magazines that we talked about. Also found an overnight bag in there, which contained lingerie and pictures of Martha Freeman in various stages of undress.
This man is a tugging son of a bitch.
He's just got his tug. He's just got like a little tug closet. That's all it is. It's so weird.
Also, how does he have a radio and like DVDs and how does
all
this
sorts
guy,
of shit?
How does Jeffrey not hear this fucker in the closet tugging away and
well, that's the thing.
Shit?
It's like who the shit.
All
well, we're not done
by
yet.
Dr. Pepper.
And Coke too. Martha was forthcoming about this information, which is kind of too forth. She's like, yeah, no, he lives in the closet and I fuck him all the time and my husband didn't know about it. She referred to him as Christian, was his name, and said that that he was the one who had a big role in her husband's death after 9 p.m. that evening. The whole deal.
Oh, now I see why she says he found him.
Yeah, he found him. My husband found him. So
he opened a closet to get his fucking scarf.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, there's a man living in here, tugging in my closet, drinking Dr. Pepper."
This is crazy.
What is that? A Maxim DVD? What do you got there?
Are those pictures of my wife?
Pictures of my wife and
crazy.
Which one are you tugging to?
Right.
The Maxim or the pictures of my wife?
This is absurd.
Jesus Christ. Now, also, though, Regine Beverly, they talked to her, the neighbor. See, you talk to these people. Next thing you know, you're in a fucking room talking to cops.
Talking about a tug closet.
Yeah. She says that Tara and Anthony Cantrell, Tony and Tara Cantrell, she knew them through the business that the Freemans had. She said that Beverly says she did not see Anthony or Tara around the Freeman residence on that weekend because they're trying to clear other people that might be that he knows. So she says they weren't here. Beverly describes to the police Martha's behavior. She said she never saw her cry, and she said she calmed down after just a few moments and sat down on the steps, which could be calculated or medication. Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a great sponsor, Madison Reed.
Madison Reed, Madison-Reed,
Oh, that's right.
REED.com.
You have to go there, guys. Well, I should say ladies here.
Yeah.
This is for you guys. This is the best hair color you can get out there, the best at-home hair color.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah, this is better than going to a salon because you're going to get it cheaper and you're going to get it. It's going to be less expensive. You're going to have more control over it. And with a great product like Madison Reed, it is actually just as high quality. Jimmy, I look at your head right now and I see
I could use some
it's
stuff.
screaming for some Madison Reed.
Fill it in.
Now, obviously, we are two men. I have short brown hair. I have no need for any kind of color. Jimmy has
Zero.
hardly any hair at all, so really no need for a color there. We could just paint his head with a Sharpie, but if he did need color, he would use Madison Reed.
Madison-Reed.
Madison-Reed.com, because it's for decades, women have had really no options for this. They can have kind of a lousy hair coloring at home, or they can have this super expensive, complicated process that takes 3 hours at the salon and that whole thing. But now you can have this amazing color. It's salon quality for less than $25. That's amazing. From what I understand, they are reinventing hair color, at home hair color, and it's working. It's working, and it's a lot of what it is you guys are busy. That's all there is to it. You're busy. A lot of times you don't have time to go somewhere for 3 hours, or you don't want to pay that kind of money. You're busy, so join all the women who are doing this life-changing, awesome thing and coloring their hair with Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at Madison-Reed, REED.com. Madison Reed would like to honor Small Town Murder listeners with 10% off plus free shipping on their first color kit. All you have to do is use the promo code SMALL. That's promo code SMALL, Madison-Reed.com.
Madison-Reed, REED.com, promo code SMALL, and get 10% off and free shipping. And now back to the show.
Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Simply Safe Home Security.
SimplySafe.com.
That is SIMPLI safe.com. We love this alarm system. This is a really awesome, convenient, it gives you peace of mind. It's everything you need to protect your home, nothing you don't. Most of these alarm companies are really annoying because they load your home up with obnoxious hardwired technology and you wait forever to have it installed. You're bombarded with contracts and all this type of thing. Simply Safe is different. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It's security you actually want. It's designed so you won't notice it. You never have to think about it. It's that easy. It's intuitive. There's no contract. They work hard to earn your business. That's how they're going to keep your business. They're going to earn it. They're not going to just tie you in with a contract that you're forced to stay there.
Make you love it.
That's right. 24/7 monitoring, police and fire dispatch, just $15 a month for that, $15 a month. Comprehensive protection for your windows, doors, every single room, backups protecting your home. Even if you lose power, you lose internet, someone attacks the system, it's all backed up, no problem at all.
Right.
It's won Editor's Choice Awards from CNET, PC Magazine, and The Wirecutter. And Simply Safe protects over 2 million people. Visit simplysafe.com today for free shipping and free returns on a 60-day risk-free trial. Go now, simplysafe.com/small. simplysafe.com/small.
SIMPLISAFE.com/small. And now back to the show.
They talked to Tony Cantrell, and Tony Cantrell says that they show him pictures of Roca Perez and said, is this the guy you saw her with at the hotel? And he says yes, but his hair is shorter now than it was before. He also says that in December 2004, Martha requested that Tony come to the Candlewood Suites to pick up Roca Perez. She asked Tony to take him to Murfreesboro and provide him with a map. Give him a map and take him to this town. Tony Cantrell said he never discussed this with Jeffrey because he's in a weird spot. This couple, they work for these people, so this is their bread and butter. So they need these people to be like together and running a business and doing all that because that's where they're alive and doing all that. So if this woman's having an affair, he doesn't want to go tell Jeffrey now but he's kind of has to hide it. They're in a very shitty position, these people. I feel bad for these people. So he said he never discussed it with Jeffrey, didn't tell him about it. Tony also said that it was his impression that the relationship between Martha and Roca Perez was coming to an end when she called for him to retrieve Roca Perez. When he arrived to get there from the hotel, Freeman had packed up all of Roca Perez's belongings and sent him off for Murfreesboro.
Okay.
Take this guy to Murfreesboro. Freeman instructed Cantrell to stop at an ATM and take $100 out of her account for Roca Perez. And now Tony said that he was closer friends with Martha than with Jeffrey, so he never disclosed to Jeffrey that Martha was staying at the hotel with a guy because he was closer to her. Now Tony also says that he was not aware that a relationship between Martha and Roca Perez had restarted after he dropped. As far as he's concerned,
it was over.
In December, he dropped this guy off at in Murfreesboro, and that was the end of the relationship.
$100, have a good time.
$100, have a good one. Sent him off. She gave him $100 and said, "This is a lot in your country. This is worth a lot." And nodding her head, right.
This is what everybody collectively in your village makes.
Sent him off, and he was like, "What a fucking asshole." He's like, "First of all, I speak wonderful English.
Right.
Second of all, fuck you.
I'm not from a village.
Yeah, I'm not from a village. This is ridiculous.
I was born here.
I'm from the suburbs. Right. I'm fine. This is silly." No, he was not
Memphis.
born. No, he's actually a recent immigrant.
Oh, okay.
He's actually very new to the U.S., and we'll find out how she met him in a minute, and that's more interesting than any of this shit that's happened so far.
She adopt him?
It's so this is so weird. So anyway, he says that Tony Cantrell says that on April 7th, 2005, so a few days before this whole thing, he was working at the Freeman residence resealing their back deck. He was unable to finish the job because it started raining, so he left the house. He didn't come back till Monday, April 11th, and when he got there, a cop asked that Tony take him to where Roca Perez lived in Murfreesboro. He's like, "Oh, by the way, you know this guy? Oh, he's in Murfreesboro? Take me where you took him."
Let's go for a ride.
Yeah, let's go for a ride. So now Tara Cantrell, the wife, she didn't learn that Jeffrey was dead till like later on in the day, until after this guy's taking cops to Murfreesboro and everything. She says that she knew the Freemans were having marital problems and that Martha had told Tara that she'd moved out of the house, and that Tara said that Jeffrey always wore his wedding band anyway, and Martha didn't. So she kind of got the idea that Jeffrey was more into the relationship than Martha was, based on just being around them, general behavior, which I mean, it's a judgment call. She also, Tara says at one point, she became aware that Martha had moved out of the house and into a hotel also. She knew that her husband had been to the hotel and that a Hispanic man was there with Freeman, and that was basically the way that went. Now, after Jeffrey was dead, Martha asked Tara to pick up medication and bring it to the house, fill her prescriptions. Later, Martha said that she requested that Tara come to the house and clean up the bathroom where Jeffrey died. And so Tara did that. She went and cleaned up her goddamn death scene for her. Yeah, will you clean that bed? There's my husband's blood up there, and it's so distracting. I can't poop at all. It's weird. My stomach gets weird. So
everything's all wet.
It's all wet. So April 16th, 17th, that weekend, Tara came and cleaned this whole thing up. Now, a detective here, Joseph Winter, he says that he was kind of assigned to finding Roca Perez's apartment and all, and investigating his whole deal here. Now, he says that this detective says that when he arrived at the Freeman residence, Martha was still there. She left with the detective to give a statement at police headquarters, and then she returned to, quote, assist with the investigation. After they finished on April 11th that night, he said that Martha decided not to stay at the residence, which why would you want to stay where your husband just got killed? Another detective said that he executed the search warrant of the Murfreesboro apartment. He found a bag at the residence. Inside the bag was Freeman's business card, which that doesn't really matter. He also said that he searched Freeman's computers for evidence, including emails. Among the emails found between Martha and Jeffrey, a number of them contained the name Snookums. That's what they called each other, apparently. Jesus. One was dated September 7th, 2004. One was January 20th, 2005. 2005. He also said that he did a walkthrough of the residence. He stated that Jeffrey's car was found parked in the garage. The garage door was closed. Martha's car was in the driveway parked. He found trash bags, and we told you about the wet bath mat and all that. No trash bags were found in Jeffrey's car. He also said that he found an empty prescription bottle in the residence for hydrocodone issued on April 10th, 2005, but found no loose pills in the house.
And it's been 2 days.
Yeah, that was the next day. So
Right.
she either took them all in a day, which is a lot.
That's a shitload.
That's a shitload, or she pocketed them or took them out of the bottle for some reason. Who knows? He did also note that there's the shotgun, but did not find any shotgun shells in the residence. Just a shotgun with no ammo. He also testified that he's the one who accompanied Martha to the police station, where she voluntarily answered questions. He then requested that she do a walkthrough of the house, and she voluntarily did a walkthrough of the house that was tape recorded. In the Murfreesboro search, he said that he encountered a woman looking for Roca Perez looking for his apartment. Sure. There was a woman there named Beatrice Ruiz, and Ruiz spoke passable English, he said, until the detective attempted to explain the search warrant process, and then she had no idea what English words were and had just so much trouble. She pulled a Family Guy Consuelo. She just said, no, Superman, no here, and closed the door. And she said, no, you don't understand. No. And just closed the doors. Did one of those.
That may be the best character on that show.
I love her so much.
Amazing.
She's so fucking great. She's just so contrary and shit. She's a dick to everybody. She's fucking awesome. She reminds me of my grandmother. Yeah. She's like my grandmother as a cleaning woman. So, they at that point, they questioned them. They said they placed Roca Perez in a 10-by-10 room with his hands handcuffed in the front, put him in an interrogation room. That's how that worked. Now, once he was removed from the room, they took Martha into the room. And when she walked into the room, he had pulled the table back just a bit. She said she enters the room, crosses to the other side of the table, and looks down and says very excitedly, "What's that doing here?" And there was a gold man's wedding band on the table. The detective said he picked it up, and she said that belongs to Jeffrey. So how that got there is a weird thing. Mm-hmm. They're saying Roca Perez might have had it and all that sort of shit.
Left it on the table.
Left it on the table. There's like a ditch to the evidence or some shit. So they released Martha, like we said. She was sent off. Blah blah blah. So they review the videotape of the interrogation room, and the tape did not show Roca Perez handling the ring that was found. Mm-hmm. He didn't. He stated also that he didn't request the victim's fingernails be clipped and checked for evidence, which I don't understand why in a struggle situation you wouldn't check a guy's.
At least scrape them.
I get that the hands were bound, but to get the hands bound, it probably was a struggle for that. I'm not sure. So now the closet that they thought he lived, he said, the detective said he initially believed that the mattress and closet were staged. Later on, he learned exactly what the deal was. Apparently, Jeffrey's at work for like 10, 11 hours a day. Roca Perez just has run of the house while he's at work. Sure. While Jeffrey's at work, he just acts like he lives there. He hangs out, he makes food, watches TV. And then when Jeffrey comes home, he goes and hangs out in the closet and jerks off to fucking Maxim and Playboy and Penthouse and whatever the hell else he's got up there. And pictures of Martha.
How old is this guy?
In his 30s. I mean, just,
He's got a hell of a sex drive.
He's got a hell of a sex drive. Yeah, he's banging her. He's jerking off. He's really got a lot going on.
Constantly got to be jizzing. Jesus.
They found out that Roca Perez is here illegally also, that he's not a legal
that's
alien.
not good.
He snuck in, which is also not great for him. Anyway, even if he didn't kill this guy, he's got other problems. Now, another forensic scientist with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, a woman named Donna Nelson, she ends up saying that she found the foam mattress, the shotgun, the blanket, all that shit, vacuumings, blood samples, also a pair of women's panties indicated the presence of Freeman's DNA, and then a gray T-shirt also contained her DNA, and a different T-shirt and ball cap matched Roca Perez, and a pair of men's underwear contained Roca Perez's DNA and the DNA of an unidentified female.
Uh-oh.
So who the hell knows who he's out there?
He's banging others, too.
He's oof, man.
Take that.
Wow. On the beach towel discovered at the scene, by the way, in the upstairs outside the bedrooms, they discovered Roca Perez's sperm and Martha Freeman's DNA. They said they were pretty sure that sexual intercourse occurred on the towel.
Or he had her wipe off her belly.
Either one. Yeah, either one. I guess the way it was, she was laying where it was. A pair of latex gloves had degraded DNA that was insufficient to perform tests on that they found. And also a number of things had that could degrade DNA, and they were talking about tons of different shit. We all know that. Yeah. So now pre-trial, this Regine Beverly testifies about her whole thing, about the 911 call, Martha's demeanor. Yeah. On cross-examination, she says that she hadn't been in their house very often, and Beverly said that she called Freeman's attorney. This is a weird thing. They would often talk in the yard, and Regine Beverly said that some weeks prior to this hearing, and after the murder, but before the trial, she called Freeman's attorney to check on Freeman's mental health out of concern for her welfare. She was that worried about her. The neighbor, Karen Neal, she testifies about seeing Martha standing there with the cigarette in her hand and all that type of shit. On cross-examination, Neal stated that she would not have noticed if someone was looking out the door or window at Freeman. She didn't know, she didn't look to see if she was being like held captive on the porch or some shit like that. She said she didn't realize any of these observations were important. It was just a neighbor smoking a cigarette. So not a big deal. On redirect, she says that she was not in distress or panicking, but emotionless and zoned out, which is 7:45 a.m. smoking a cigarette.
I am too.
Mm-hmm. Also on a bunch of pills. Now, the trial court found that the 911 call should not be admitted as at trial because it was hearsay. That's not falling under any exception because Beverly was relaying what Martha said.
Because she wouldn't do it.
Yeah, so there's none of that. Elaborating on that, they said that the actions by the defendant Freeman, coupled with the substantial time interval between the victim's death and 911 call, did not support the notion that her statements were spontaneous and logically sprung from the stress of her husband's murder. Okay. So whatever. Anyway, the trial court also found that by the way, they arrest Martha for the murder, obviously. Yeah. So I forgot to say that. It's so obvious. I was like, it's just, I should probably tell you that. They're having a pre-trial. Right. So they're charging both of them, her and Roca Perez, together as for this murder. They also found that the trial should not be severed.
They want them together.
They're going to keep them together because Freeman has not shown, quote, compelling prejudice, and the defenses are not irreconcilable. Okay. So they're making them be tried together. Also, Martha made no showing that Roca Perez would testify for her if the trials were severed. So in a separate order, the trial court also ordered Roca Perez's motion for severance, denied that also. Okay. So they're going to be tried together. Now, Martha, she was a witness at his preliminary hearing, at Roca Perez's preliminary hearing, giving details about their relationship and the night that Jeffrey was killed. Now she talks about how they met. Uh-oh. Okay, they met in 2004 at a 4th of July celebration, Freeman and Roca Perez. Okay, this was, she said, during a rocky period in her marriage. Mm-hmm. She said she went to a hotel in downtown Nashville with Roca Perez and 2 of his friends.
Oh no.
And she said she had intimate relations with the 3 men at the same time. So she got gangbanged by Roca Perez and his 2 friends at a 4th of July celebration, which is
in downtown Nashville.
I've
stayed in downtown Nashville hotels. I am terrified.
That's what goes on. Suburban women getting big gangbanged by 3 fucking dudes after a fireworks celebration. Wow.
Holy shit! That's how much jizz is in hotels.
That's how much jizz. She also says they conducted an on and off relationship with the aid of a English-Spanish translator, book and recorder thing. Yeah, this is 2005, so they had like shit like that. Now it's just an app and easy. Yeah. Then she said Perez moved into the closet in the home in March of 2005, the month before the murder. She says that on the night of April 10th, both She and Roca Perez were asleep in the room that she had separate. They were sleeping in separate rooms, she said, her and her husband. And Jeffrey Freeman discovered Perez and told him to leave. She said, hey, there's a guy living in my house sleeping with my wife. I'd like you to leave now, which is excessively reasonable. Excessively reasonable.
Could you get the fuck out of my house?
Could you not fuck my wife in my house right now? That's not really cool.
This is a very Boogie Nights scene.
This is very Boogie Nights. So Martha then says that Jeffrey went to walk the dogs after that. She said, oh, look, you're banging some guy. Get out of my house. The dogs have to shit. That was the course of events. So she says when Jeffrey returned, this is terrible to laugh at, but Jesus, when Jeffrey returned, that's when Perez Roca grabbed him by the shirt collar and forced him into the bathroom at gunpoint while Martha Freeman waited outside. She said, I heard water running. I heard a lot of thumping, a lot of noise, is what she testified. She said, I was absolutely terrified of what was going on. And also, if he could do this to my husband, I'm not sure what he was going to do to me. He's a monster. He's run wild. It has nothing to do with me, though. I'm innocent. They asked her, why didn't you immediately call the police? And she admitted that she, quote, didn't have an answer. She just said it must have been the medication she's taking for her bipolar disorder. It just makes her wacky.
You know how many pills I took?
You know, sometimes guys killing your husband, you just don't think, call the police.
Sometimes
That's a weird
you forget
thing.
the number.
You forget the number. You know, it's very difficult, which is horseshit. During the she ends up being 16 hours from the time she says that Jeffrey was killed to the 911 call. 16 hours. 16 hours in there. Freeman said she went to Walgreens, picked up a prescription for antidepressants, walked her dog twice. She also called her in-laws, and this was when she called the mother-in-law. Jeffrey was dead already.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, he's not feeling too well. So he's not going to call you
shit.
tonight. Yeah, that's cold-blooded shit.
She's trying to get out of this.
Yeah, she's cold-blooded shit. This is all cold. That's what I mean. She had like a plan of, I'm going to do this, and then I'll go across the street. A man killed my husband. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. She said she was...
her plan is to eventually tell on him, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. He's going down for this. Yeah. That's her plan. This guy barely speaks fucking English. Right. He's going down for this, and I'm going to play the victim, and I don't know. I'm on medication.
Meanwhile, she's been banging him for damn near a year.
Him, his friends, yeah.
Holy shit.
So, which is, hey, they're all adults, whatever. But we're just saying that she's not. She's fucking up here. Yeah,
she's an asshole.
She's an asshole. She said that she called him into work and all that sort of thing. And then about 4:00 is when she finally went to the neighbor's house and told her what happened. And that's when the police were called. She said, according to her testimony, an angry Jeffrey Freeman said he was going out for a walk and he wanted the man out of the house when he came back. Again, highly reasonable. Yeah. Can you, by the time my dog's done shitting, can you get your dick out of my wife and leave my home, please? Thank you. So she says, Martha testifies, instead of leaving, Roca Perez picked up a shotgun that belonged to Jeffrey and confronted him. Now, there's no shells in the house, and I assume Jeffrey knows if he has shotgun shells or not. So he's probably like, well, yeah, that's pretty cool. You got that gun and all, but I don't know.
Metal and wood, I see it.
Yeah, you basically have a club. Right. Good for you.
You have a giant weapon that does nothing unless you throw it at me.
That's all it's going to do. So she said that Roca Perez confronts Jeffrey. He ordered Jeffrey into the bathroom at gunpoint, and that's when she said she heard the beating and strangling, and she was absolutely terrified and all of that stuff. Her end. What ends up happening, though, first they're charging Roca Perez. At this point, she's not officially charged yet. Once she is testifying in his preliminary hearing there, this is when, in the middle of all this, the judge stops her from testifying and says, hold on a second. Number one, I don't believe you. And he says, quote, I've got a problem with allowing this to go any further without allowing her some representation because I can see her being charged in this case. And then she said, the judge turned to the lawyers and said, this is so bizarre, it's really hard to believe the whole thing. So he's like, I'm confused. This is just throwing a lot of weird shit into the mix. Get her a lawyer and get her off the stand.
Also,
because
can we please take a break?
Muddy in the waters here.
I have to get home and check all of my closets.
I have to check every one of my closets, and I'm going to check out one of those Maxim DVDs because that sounds pretty hot. So 4 months later, she's finally indicted.
Wow.
On one count of first-degree murder, and she is let out on $75,000 bail.
Okay.
So she's out. And by the way, Roca Perez, he's not.
There's no bail.
He's sitting in jail the whole time while she's out on $75 bail. His lawyer says, quote, he has always maintained his innocence, and no disrespect to Mrs. Freeman, but her credibility, her reliability, her mental stability will be in serious question at a trial of this case.
It's a smidge shot.
It's all there, yeah. As the trial began, the district attorney offered her a 20-year deal where she'd be eligible for parole in 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years out of this fucking joint.
And what does she do?
In return, she just have to testify against Roca Perez, which she was already doing anyway. Yeah. According to what her lawyer told her to reject it. Told her don't do that.
That's a lawyer that's like, I'd love to see this bitch put away forever.
yeah. That's, and later on, he's quoted as saying, "I felt strongly about it then. I feel strongly about it now." So we'll find out.
He doesn't say which way he feels strongly.
We'll find out about her not taking this deal because he thinks the case is weak. Now, September 2005. He thinks it's weak against her. She's like, they got a great case against him.
I think he's wrong.
I think so, too. I think that it seems like they were in it together. If I'm a jury, I'm going, I think she wanted that to happen.
I mean, he didn't take pictures of her without her fucking, you know what I mean?
Not only that.
He's got tug stuff. He's got her panties. She's on board with this.
He's dead. Her husband's dead, and she decided to go to Walgreens and get her prescription and walk the fucking dog instead of calling the fucking cops. Calling the goddamn ambulance.
She called him into work sick.
That's what I mean. She is a huge part of this shit.
Asshole.
And she never even says like, oh, he held a gun to my head the whole time. He wasn't with her at Walgreens. You know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous. Now, September of 2005, in August, she is charged and released on bail. In September, officers are called to Martha's home early in the morning after a psychiatric worker called saying Freeman had taken 60 antidepressants and a bunch of other unknown medication. They found her coherent and semi-alert, but still called for an ambulance. They're calling it a suicide attempt, a cry for help or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they don't know if she was meaning to kill herself or get sympathy in the trial, or I mean, you don't know what her mental state is. Who knows?
There could be some multiple things going on there.
Yeah, I think
could be a little bit of both.
I could see any of that shit happening.
If this doesn't work, they're really going to feel sorry for me.
Maybe, yeah. She's in such a shit situation. It's who knows. You know what I mean? So. The prosecutor in the opening of the trial, he says, quote, the evidence will show you she had Mr. Perez there, secluded away in another bedroom. It took two people to orchestrate this, and it will be clearly shown that those two people were Martha Freeman and Mr. Roca Perez.
Yes.
So they're on there. Now, the defense has a different theory of this case. Her defense attorney says, this is his opening, quote, two men fought over one woman and one man died, or one woman and one man died.
Yeah.
We will not hear any evidence. We will not hear any witnesses who will testify that Martha Freeman ever intended for her affair with Mr. Roca Perez to lead to her husband's death. Okay. So she's saying she never tried to hire anybody to kill him or anything. Now Martha just blames him as her theory. Her lawyer concedes that she kept the husband's body dead in the upstairs bathroom for almost a day without notifying the police. Yeah. We'll give you that. But he also insisted that her decision to do so showed a lack of involvement. This is what he says. He's trying to make that a positive. This is a terrible trick. She's like, we'll make it a positive. We'll spin it in our direction. He says, quote, she did not hide the body. She did not flee. She did not help Roca Perez free. She does, in fact, delay her making her decision, but she never does anything to assist Roca Perez. She also doesn't do anything to assist her husband while he's being murdered or in the ensuing hours. So, sorry. Roca Perez's lawyer, on the other hand, says, quote, maybe she needed a chump. Who better to blame it on than somebody who's here illegally, somebody who is truly a stranger in a strange land, somebody who, by virtue of his immigration status, once arrested, is not going to get out of jail. Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, that's all true, too. Yeah. But he killed him. That's the difference. Yeah. It's easy for her to blame him, both for those reasons and the reason that he killed him also. Right. So there's factual and cultural reasons for this. Right. Now, the Walgreens woman testifies, the
clerk,
the head of the head pharmacist and the custodian of records. They testifies that They had she testifies the effects of the drugs and all that sort of thing. And the weird part is the Walgreens lady testifies that Freeman's only listed condition was hypertension. And there was
all she had?
And there's no medications on the list that would treat bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, which is what she claims to have also. Now, on a recross examination, she testifies that most of the medications were prescribed by a Dr. Nyquist, who's a psychiatrist, which is odd. And Estridge, this is the Walgreens lady, she said that hydrocodone prescription was not prescribed by this doctor. So I don't know what is happening here. She's just got so many pills. She's one of these people at pill shops, I feel like. She's got a doctor for this. She's probably got some crooked dentist writing her prescription. I mean, it's just how a lot of these people do it. Now, next is the medical examiner, and he identifies all the photographs that we talked about, the bruising around the wrists, and it talks about that, it was bound while he was alive and that he struggled against his ties, which makes people... When you start putting it you just see the body, whatever, but when they start putting together what actually happened, was taken, was tied up, and he struggled, and you had to make sure that's a fucking brutal thing to do.
Sure.
At that point, someone's struggling for their life and you're killing them. That's hard. So they talked about the punches to the head and all that sort of thing, or the blows to the head. They talk about the blows to the head could have been caused by the butt of the shotgun, could have been caused by a fist. There's multiple things that could have happened.
A shirt telling a tale, too.
He's also got a shirt. There's all sorts of shit here. So they said they talked about the time of death estimate and all that sort of thing. Now, cross-examination of the medical examiner by Roca Perez's attorney. This guy, the medical examiner, testifies that at the time of death, it was estimated mostly on the pictures taken on the scene. The bag found on the head, he said, could have caused the marks on the neck and could have played a role in the victim's death. He also says marks on the wrists were non-specific and that he couldn't specifically say what type of object was used to tie the victim up. The doctor also agreed that a person could hang himself with mild force. So they're trying to say that he did this to himself, which is, I don't know, that's not a good way to do it. Like I said, they said
they could have framed it if when did Carradine die? You know what I mean? Like, if they
around then, 2007, 8.
They just hung that phone cord around the bar in that closet
and put a Maxim next to him,
and then just hung that Maxim right next to him. You have no idea how this happened.
Yeah, that's true. There's a bunch of theories here. One of them is maybe they were lying on a towel having sex when Jeffrey Freeman came in and caught them in the act, or maybe the sex on the towel was to celebrate the fact that they murdered Jeffrey. These are the prosecutors' weird.
What a terrible thing to say out loud.
To celebrate, Jesus Christ. Now, Martha's defense attorney labeled the suggestion as a nasty and inflammatory theory in the case on scarce evidence. We're not judging her on her sexual shit, by the way, by any stretch of the imagination. I don't care what the fuck you do. Just don't kill anyone when you're done doing it.
Here's
Thank
the other
you.
thing. Don't be pretending to fix your marriage and then be out gangbanging.
No.
You know what
but
I mean?
that's outside
bananas.
of my realm of judgment. Now, that's whatever. But the fact that you killed him afterwards, that's where, as a society, then we're all like, hey, that's enough now. You can do whatever you want on your time. But the prosecutor also said, every one of you is the judge in the facts of this case. When you start talking theories and not facts, you're asking someone to make a decision based on guesses, which is exactly what a trial is. Unless you watched the crime happen, then having a trial immediately afterwards, it's all based on guesses, based on shit that you've heard and theories and shit like that. That's exactly what a trial is. So an officer testified, police officer, that he investigated and photographed the house. He said there was no forced entry. He talked about the English-Spanish electronic translator. Talked about the trash bags and all the locations, the shotgun, blah, 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 blah. They also talk about that the police didn't secure the scene between the April 11th and April 15th, which seems silly. Martha was allowed to go home, for Christ's sake, if she wanted to. She didn't choose to, but they didn't examine everything either. It's just weird, man. They said they didn't process a black plastic bag from the victim's head. Why would you not process that?
What?
The trash bag boxes that they got the trash bags out of, fingerprints could help on there. There's also a small TV radio. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that was there too.
In the closet?
in the room there somewhere.
Okay.
He was also not asked to process the doorknob or door handle on the front door and storm door, I guess, because that's where cops are coming in and out. He also didn't process the security system control pad on the back door for fingerprints, which also I think should have been something.
Sure.
They say they talk about fingerprints and all that sort of shit. He was unable to lift prints from 2 banquet TV dinner boxes, a Hispanic Maxim magazine. I didn't know they had one of those, but they do. Hey, look at that. Caliente.
Maxim reaches out.
It's muy caliente. Let me tell you something. Fucking caliente. So, it's beautiful. 1 Playboy magazine, a GQ magazine, a TV guide, 3.5 loaves of bread? He's just sitting there eating fucking bread and water? Is that what she's feeding this poor guy?
And banquet.
And banquet? Jesus. A digital clock and radio, 2 TV remotes, and a purple Game Boy. He said he was able to get lifts prints from a paper plate on the bedside table, the Penthouse, the Playboy, Diet Coke can, Maxim DVD cover. He also was
jizz all over the wall.
Yeah, jizz just everywhere. We scraped lots of jizz off the walls. So they went over all these fingerprints. They found Roca Perez's fingerprints on the Playboy, on the Dr. Pepper can. Also, additional fingerprints found around were matched to Martha on his shit, so to indicate they were, populating the same space, basically. No other prints from anything around there came from anyone other than Martha or Roca Perez.
Okay.
So it's not like,
there's not a mystery man coming in.
There's not Jeffrey didn't come in and grab something or do something. That's they're trying to establish that he didn't find them, maybe, or whatever. Maybe they just planned this shit. That's what they're trying to establish. Maybe this was a plan, not a fight.
An accident.
Because they're trying to say this was a fight.
Yeah.
He came in, found them, they got in a fight, and this shit went too far.
Okay.
Rather than this was a premeditated, cold-blooded fucking murder, which is much worse in the eyes of the law.
Hide in the closet and tug until it's time to go.
Stay in there and keep tugging.
Right.
I'll just keep bringing you materials. Don't worry about it. This is, I love the way he put it. A Detective Cochran said that he said what he decided to, he said he didn't do the trash bag around the victim's head because the bag was wet and things aren't conducive to chemical powders. He also didn't request them to check the trash bags for prints for that same reason. He decided not to test Jeffrey's wallet because it didn't appear to be a robbery. It didn't appear to be touched, so that didn't get processed. And also he searched I love the way he put this. By the way, the processing of shit, the reason why they don't process everything is because you will fuck your crime lab up. They talk about that in the Homicide, David Simon book, how you, as a detective, you can say process the whole house, and they'll do it, but you've just crippled your crime lab for 2 weeks. You fucked everything up. Yeah. They hate you, and so to be work in an environment, you have to choose what is actually relevant. If that room doesn't look like anybody was in there, we don't need to vacuum it and have this guy empty the bag and look through all the fibers. Stick with where the crime happened. So that's why they do that, by the way. But this Detective Cochran said he searched a bag found at the scene. I love the way he put it. Quote, it contained, quote, lingerie, panties, a bustier, and sexual tap books. I would have loved to have heard that in an old flat-topped, no fucking sideburn having Southern detective, and sexual tap books. Also contained a hotel receipt from the Renaissance Hotel and a Polaroid of Roca Perez in the nude. So
he had his own Polaroid.
They also found a computer that had contained downloaded photographs of Roca Perez, which is her thing, and also discovered a camera at the scene which contained a photo of Jeffrey wearing a silver ring that was found in the bag at the scene. That's the silver ring. So that's his ring that we found there. So they took that off of him. Cantrell testified, Tony, that he was not aware of Freeman about them restarting the relationship. Roca Perez and them. On cross-examination, they asked Cantrell if he killed Jeffrey Freeman. And he's like, no. Why? I'm not fucking his wife and I need him for a job, so why would I kill him?
I have no interest in that man dead.
My motivation is to keep everyone happy and the fucking business going here. Now, Tara Cantrell testified that she noticed severe ups and downs in Martha's behavior in 2004 and acknowledged picking up prescriptions for her on more than one occasion. She also said that after Jeffrey's death, the business closed very quickly because of his death and, quote, some other things as well, which is interesting here. Now, the prosecutor at the end, he says, quote, "It's very easy to think of the steps up to committing a crime, but it's very difficult to think about what to do after committing the offense."
Yeah.
Because that's what they did. They had this all planned out. Then they're like, shit. Now what? We have all this stuff and a dead guy.
Right.
We'll
the
hang out.
dismount's the most important part.
Let's talk about it for a while, and then we'll end up,
16 hours later, there's too much evidence against it.
So let's call the cops.
Right.
Verdict comes in. It took the jury less than 2 hours on this one. It takes an hour and a half to fill out the paperwork, so that's not a lot. They found both Roca Perez and Martha guilty of first-degree murder. And in the sentencing, this is you, sir and ma'am, both may fuck off. They're both sentenced to life in prison. Life for this. They will both have to serve 51 years in prison before being eligible for parole.
Whoops.
51
instead of 6.
That's why I said that 6 is a big fucking. She'd have been fucking gallivanting around the mall in Brentwood right now.
Holy shit.
Having fucking Starbucks with her friends instead of being in jail for another fucking 40 years. They said that if her lawyers tried to make it out like she was on trial for adultery, which I'm sure that came up, and that's salaciousness that the prosecutors always like to hit on. That's bullshit, I think. But you don't even need that for this case.
No.
You just need to establish that's why their motive for being together and killing him together is.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you don't even need to be salacious about it because it's enough already. Her lawyer said, quote, "If Martha Freeman was on trial for immoral conduct, this would be a pretty open and shut case. But an affair doesn't lead to a murder conviction." Well, it does when one of them's dead, and then a bunch of evidence says that. The lawyer for Roca Perez said that he was a disposable target because of his immigration status. He says, quote, as far as who killed Jeffrey Freeman, I don't think that was ever answered. I think they could have done much more to establish where people were in the relevant time period.
What a really shitty, despicable thing to say.
I think that's pretty well established what happened there. It's pretty obvious.
There's a verdict, sir.
There's a verdict. Not only that, she said he killed him. He killed her, and he's kind of saying that it was no one's denying that in the end, physically, whatever the intent was, Roca Perez killed Jeffrey. And no one's denying that they were fucking Martha and Roca Perez. So those are the indisputable facts that one led to another. Now, I guess relatives of Jeffrey were very happy when the verdicts were read. They didn't linger to talk to cops, talk to reporters afterwards. They just kind of took off. An attorney for the family said, quote, "This is a new day for the Freeman family. The jury's verdict today is a validation of Jeffrey Freeman's life." So they took that as something to take away positive from the whole thing. Now, on appeal, Freeman alleges that the court erred by admitting a nude photograph of Roca Perez. That was salacious. Refusing to allow the 911 recording, which that wouldn't have gotten her off. And but it's a procedural thing where you're saying whatever. And refusing to grant her motion to sever the trial, and also alleges the trial court erred by allowing a police officer to testify concerning a statement made in violation of the confrontation clause. Which it's a long story. I'm not even going to get into that now. Not even going to get into it. Okay. Perez and Martha alleged there was insufficient evidence to support their convictions. Also, the problem is they argue the facts could potentially support a one killer theory, and then they're going to blame each other and say that each of them are innocent, and their goal is to get off that way.
Ouch!
It seems like
that's a real tricky way to do it.
Yeah, they're saying that it could have been done by one killer. The individual, one individual surprises, hits, and knocks the victim unconscious. The individual then ties the victim and strangles him. Taking only the evidence on the victim's body, the scenario might be plausible, the court says. However, considering the rest of the evidence, we find the scenario unreasonable. It's highly unlikely that a single killer put the pillowcase on a victim's head before knocking him unconscious if he was not bound first. Because the bloody pillowcase they're saying that possibly they put the pillowcase on his head, then hit him with the shotgun, and it didn't cut it open worse that way. Yeah, and it didn't splatter either. They said, in our view, the binding must have occurred first, which would have required two people. Additionally, both defendants' actions after the killing make this unreasonable. The clean up the phone calls, Roca Perez's flight from the scene, and the Freeman's indication that the murder occurred 20 to 30 minutes before the 911 call. All these things. They said that the other one is they're saying whether it was premeditation decision, and they're saying it seems pretty premeditated when the guy's bound and shit like that. There's many decisions, many chances to change your mind and not kill this person. They said a rational jury could have concluded that Freeman was calm after the killing. The victim was killed the night of the 10th, and Freeman calmly called the victim's mother to tell her he was ill. Freeman was seen standing in the front of the porch holding a cigarette at 7:45 a.m. the following morning, and Freeman called Resifax to advise him the victim would not be at work that day. Multiple witnesses testified that Freeman went through periods of hysteria and calmness. All of this leads to, we think she's full of shit, and these facts taken together support a finding of premeditation for both defendants, i.e. full of shit, is what they said. I wish they could put that on there. We find these defendants to be full of shit. Move on. Take them away.
Very George Carlin.
That would be great. If you were found that you're appealing, you're full of shit. Right. Bullshit theory. Now,
wasn't it idiots and full of shit? What was it? This guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He's full of shit.
No, he's full of shit. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's fucking great. The next is about the photo of Roca Perez, mostly nude, exhibiting his genitalia, as it's put in the court document.
Gross.
Martha argues that the photograph is not relevant, and if relevant, the relevance is not substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice and confusion of the issues, like they've never seen a dick before.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a dick. I don't know who killed who. Never mind. Guilty. I don't think that's ever happened. Jesus Christ. And the 911 tapes, they're just like, that doesn't really do anything for you.
The Polaroid dick pic. I'm blown away by this.
And it doesn't matter because it's not like that. She's denying the affair, and that's the only evidence of the affair. And all that. They're not denying the affair. She had the dick pic. Right. I don't know why it needed to be in evidence necessarily.
Because it's funny.
But it's kind of funny. Yeah, maybe that's why.
That's hilarious.
That's
here
true.
we have an electrical cord. Right here we have tape and bags and a dick pic.
See that dick pic? Look at that. We got a dick pic.
That's fucking hilarious.
Fuck, man. Next, she argues that they erred in refusing to sever the trials, but they said that the court should grant severance if, before trial, it's deemed necessary to protect the defendant's right to a speedy trial, or deemed appropriate to promote a fair determination of guilt or innocence, or during the trial with consent of the defendant to be severed if it's deemed necessary. None of these things are through. The conclusion of this, after thorough review, we conclude that there was sufficient evidence to support the jury's findings. The photograph of Roca Perez was not admitted in error. The 911 tape was not precluded in error. The trial court did not err in refusing to sever the defendant's trials, and the confrontation clause was not offended by the introduction of Freeman's statement identifying the victim's ring. As such, we affirm the judgments of the trial court. Keep fucking off. Take a hike.
51 years.
51 years in jail, assholes. So, she's in prison.
Yeah.
Okay? She's in prison looking for fellas, by the way. You can write to Martha in prison if you'd like to do that. It says contact Martha now. Must be 18 years or older to write a prison by mail. Is Martha Freeman, number 411819, Tennessee Prison for Women, 3881 Stewart Lane, 2 South C-11. Jesus. Nashville, Tennessee, 37218 in the United States, or email Martha now. Then it says inmates do not have access to internet, so you can't do that.
It's somebody else.
They print and send your email messages is what they do. You write a letter to her, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to hear her pitch?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay. Martha is pen pal number 411819. Yeah. She says, quote, full-figured Southern lady seeks man for friendship and companionship. I'm an attractive, voluptuous lady with a quirky sense of humor that's looking for a little playful fun. I enjoy painting, football, crossword puzzles, music, and intelligent conversation. I also love to read and learn about new things, especially science. Quote, parentheses, I'm a little nerdy. I also like
science. I also like biology.
Multiple Spanish cocks at the same time. No, it's not on it. I'm looking for an intellectual man that likes to laugh with a little mischief. If any of that appeals to you, please write me and tell me about yourself. I will respond to all inquiries. I hope I hear from you soon. And then update, please check out my new pick and info. Looking for any and all domestic or international correspondence, love postcards, magazines, and books. I look forward to mail, the highlight of my day. Love different people and backgrounds, especially Mexican.
Yeah. Somebody sent us a postcard from Hawaii. I'm sending it to her.
You should.
I'm going to write her a letter.
You should. A love letter. Thanks to everyone for kindness. With much love, your new friend, Martha. And you can write her anytime in the next 40 years because she's going to fucking be in prison. So good luck, Martha. She'll be there till she's 90.
Martha's one piece of ass.
She's that Martha's one hot piece of ass. She's there, and she'll probably show you her hot piece of ass if you ask her to. That is Brentwood, Tennessee. Now, how different was that than Gainesboro?
A little different.
That's what I wanted to show. That's not just it's not what we do, and it's not every state is different. The towns are different. Everything is different from 5 miles to 5 miles. It's different. So we wanted to say that. That's Brentwood, Tennessee. And that is the Freeman's crazy tale.
Wherever it's at, hillbilly behavior still fucking happens.
That's what I mean. This is hillbilly behavior in a big house. That's all it is. That's all the same behavior. Murderous behavior is all panhandle behavior.
Right.
When we say that, it has nothing to do with location.
Right.
And that's the other thing, too. People say when we do this accent, we do the what and all that shit, they're like, stop making fun of Southerners. It's not Southern.
No.
We've done that, and then people are like, people don't sound like that in Massachusetts.
We get it.
I'm like, I know. We've explained to you that has nothing to do with region. That's the quote panhandle accent. It's not Southern. It's not anything. It's just a dumb person who fucking murders people because they're an idiot and thinks they can get away with it. That's what we're talking about. Panhandle behavior.
This is maybe the worst plot to murder somebody.
It's terrible.
There was no getting out of this.
No getting out of it. But
is impossible.
No, ask that beach towel.
Yeah.
If they found that out. There's going to be some leakage on the dismount.
That's so gross.
That is gross. So if you like that show and are not too grossed out, go over to iTunes and give us a review.
Yeah.
Please, 5 stars. Just tell us you're following whatever you want. Instructions, or we appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. If you want to be a bigger hero, you can follow us on social media.
Yeah.
Do that. It's at Smalltown. What is it? At Smalltown Murder on Instagram. At Murder Small on Twitter. Smalltown Pod on Facebook. If you want to email us, it's crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
And if you want to make, go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yeah.
You can find all that stuff. Tickets to the live shows, like we said.
Francisco's coming
San
up.
Francisco coming up is the next one after Portland, and we cannot wait. Cobb's is an awesome club.
Yeah.
We did it last year, and it's a great place to watch a show, and we can't wait to perform there again.
Comics started there.
It's so great. Between that, we have Portland, and then the next week after that, Phoenix, Stand Up Live, and San Francisco. It's great. Then it's all East Coast when it's cold because it's nice scheduling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Atlanta,
and
then we're
everywhere
doing
else.
Minneapolis and Denver, and then it's fucking bananas.
And then it goes crazy from there. So please get those tickets now while you can. Also, because a lot of these are selling out. Honestly,
Minneapolis and Denver.
Minneapolis sold out. Maryland there outside of Baltimore is just about sold out. Silver Spring is sold out. Philly sold out.
Cincinnati
sold out. So I mean, these are. Get your tickets for these.
They're in demand, goddammit.
If the show's in December, don't wait until the first week of December.
Atlanta's almost done.
They might not be there, honestly. So please do that. Also at shutupandgivememurder.com, you can find merch and wear a T-shirt to one of these live shows. Or if it's too cold, I don't know, wear it on the outside of your parka.
Some hoodies.
Get an extra large. I don't know what to tell you. Get a hoodie, get a mug, and put some hot chocolate in it.
Fucking yeah.
Do all of that stuff. And while you're at shutupandgivememurder.com, if you want to be a huge hero, one of our favorite people on the face of the earth and one of the people that keeps our show going and keeps it a thing, you can do that. Follow those links over to patreon.com/crimeandsports or over to PayPal and use our email address crimeandsports@gmail.com to make a one-time donation. And Jimmy, please, I need to hear for my own sanity the list of wonderful people who I want to hug right now and who gave us something, and our producers. Hit me with it now, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Katharina Gueth, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Katarina Gueth.
Hey, thank you.
Talena Jensen. Talena Jensen. Kelly Mack. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Yeah.
Annette Wright. Crystal Gennaro. She's the traffic controller. Christiane Castaldi. Elisa Kamak. Whatever. Melinda Cruz or Melinda Sipes, depending on how she decides to sign. Michael Kennedy, my favorite Michael Kennedy now.
Yeah, definitely.
I've already forgotten about the other one I know. Jana Dickens and Laura Nimeh or Nimmy? Nimeh.
Well, either way, fucking thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Jennifer Provan, Michelle Carroll, Samantha Ritchie, Caitlin McLeon, Brianna Pampina? Pink is her middle name. Reagan Schalke, Gretchen Jones, Cordelia Winters, Jessica Manor, Christy Tosella, Sean Sullivan, Ryan Russell, Cedric Wardell, Mary Price, Sarah Toasty, Teresa Morgan, Zach Warburton, Kat Ayala.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forget where she's at. God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
It's somewhere fucking cold. That's what I know.
Damn it. Thank you, though.
Thank you, Kat. Jen Bass, Eric Langenecker, Courtney Cox, happy birthday, Jenny Haney. I don't know. That was the name of the person, which was, I don't know who sent it, Jenny. But
well, happy birthday, damn you.
Ashley Vio, Rusty Burrows, Tammy Taliaferro. No, it's Amy Taliaferro. Yes. Kapow Designs, that's Cat Power. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Bryant
you.
Bryant Toole, Aaron Anderson, Aaron Nesseth, Christy Fuck, I knew I was going to do this. Kirsty Brosvik Flatjord. Fjord? It's Flatjord.
Oh, Flatjord.
Right. It's Kirsty Brosvik Flatjord.
Shoof.
Or Flitjord.
It's a hell of a name you got.
Flatjord.
Quite the handle you got there, Christy.
Jesse Dotson, Sarah Webb, Kate Ives, Lynn Ann Price, Jesse Hartman, Christopher Battaglia, Willow Tufts, Caitlin Macleon. Oh, the other one was Macleon. What am I doing? There was 2 Macleons.
What's happening?
This is bananas. Samantha Schneider. No. Yeah, Scheidler. Samantha Scheidler. Isaac Clark. Helen Elizabeth Nolan. Philip, is that you? Philip Chavez. Is that you, Phil? Phil.
What you doing all this good, man?
Phil Chavez, that's you. Megan Ratcliffe, Lindsay Rustan, Under the Sea Fabrics, Jerome Serwinski, Matt Dietrich, Sarah Hart, Angela Miller, who is Justin's wife, Justin Miller also, Christopher Brooks, Megan Wood, Dan Coleman, Stefan Granvix. Yes. Cervix.
No.
Barely know her. That's how it goes.
I think that's what you want to say. Thank you.
At your cervix is the
joke. Yeah. There you go.
Tara Jenkins.
We're not old enough to remember those.
Samantha Ritchie, Lewis Tidrick, Gary Howard, Hanson, Dawn Marie, Alexander Hunter, Alexandra. God damn it, it's a lady.
Important.
Sorry. Alexander Hunter, Peyton Meadows, Cody McCall, Donna Sittler, Travis Reed, Ariana Folsom, Meredith Burrell, Kathleen Pullen. Happy birthday to Abby Scheidler and Bam Stroker. Bam, yeah, Bam Stroker. You got it? You see that? See what he did there? This motherfucker.
Yeah, clever.
And somebody donated in memory of Second Lieutenant Joe Cunningham. I hope he listened. Thank you, Joe. Why am I thanking him?
I don't know.
God damn it.
I figured he's a lieutenant. He must have done something that deserves thanking, I guess. Yeah.
We do this because of people like that guy.
Yeah.
Alyssa Catuagno? Yes. No. Joshua Chandler, Chantel with no last name, or Chantel. Mark McCann, the non-savvy gamer. James Fraker, Justin Miller, I said that one. Stephanie Igoa, Carol Feely, Crystal Lamb, Stephen Root, whose fucking avatar looks like fucking McGee. What's that dude's name? The fighter.
Conor McGregor?
Yes.
There you go.
Bang. And then Heather Foster.
Thank you
guys
Jimmy.
So much for doing what you do for us. We can't do it without you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Honestly.
You guys are why we do it. Thanks.
Thank you. Honestly, we can't do it without you, and we love every bit of everything you do for us. Thank you so much. You will not find 2 more appreciative people on the face of the earth than us. Every dime, every review, every time you suggest us to somebody on social media, every time you do any of that, it blows us away. Yeah. So thank you for going out of your way for us. It means the world. And what if somebody wanted to mean the world to you, Jimmy? How could they get a hold of you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And Chris Kirby, that's another one, by the way. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. Well, we like you, Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
very, very much. We can't do this without you.
Absolutely
what about you? Where can they tell you this stuff?
You can find me at Jimmy P is funny, or go copy and paste my last name from the show description. Let's be honest here. You're not going to be able to spell it on the first try.
It's tough.
It's a tough one. So I had trouble as a child. So do that. Keep coming back and seeing us every damn week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus